Hello, everybody, and welcome to Frank's Retirement Home. And we've got some bangers lined up for you today. But starting it all off, it's a Canes division second seed Bodega Hive versus seventh seed Vibe Tribe in quarterfinals of our season 3 Frank's Retirement Home season. I'm Freaky G, joined by the fantastic Berry Toppings, and we've got Salty on our spectator today. And Barry, quarterfinals is always such a fun time of the season.
Yeah, I agree. Quarterfinals is always the upset time too, which you gotta love. And right now we're looking at these bands. You see an
Mhm.
Agni band and a Charon band. There's nothing strange about those.
No, Caron really just high damage output support and mid if you put him there. Agni, another high damage output character who's been just looking so clean this season since the changes that they made to certain items. And then following up those bands, we've got Jing Qian and Odin, two more characters that have been feeling really good this season. Talk to me about this Jing Qian a little bit. What is he bringing to the table that just makes him so good right now?
So Conduit's just insane, first of all, and Zing does a lot of damage. And on top of that, you can build him with a ton of HP 5, and he's basically unkillable in the lane.
Mhm.
And then he's got a great ultimate, great setup, as we do see a Thanatos band come out as well.
Yeah, another god that has been a very high point of contention in this Frank's retirement home season. Started off really strong, has started to somewhat fall off, but certain teams are still prioritizing bans on him against specifically players that are keen to play him. You're a jungler yourself. What makes the Thanatos so worth in most situations where he can be banned or top picked?
So you can top pick a Thanatos. He can fit fairly well into anything. Um, he's got a 40% execute. He's got tons of early game pressure. He gets 30 pin off of his two. Hachi Man, first lock in, and a Thoth ban as well. But yeah, no, the Thanatos I think is just a great pick overall.
Oh, this is very interesting response though. Cthulhu, Martikaros, but I think you know which one I'm finding more interesting of these two. It's the Martikaros. Haven't seen much of the double ADC comp since the beginning of the season. What do you think about this pick here for Vibe Tribe?
I think the Marty's going mid. Um, it's just I think he's a very underrated hunter mid pick. Like you're seeing a lot of the Chirons and AMCs being picked over, but Marty's is still extremely safe. He still does a ton of burst damage. He
Mhm.
still has Prot Shred.
Yeah, he's like a pseudo Freya right now. He's high burst, high damage output, mid lane style. Not really known for his auto attack damage where Freya is, but he still has that ability to remove himself from the battlefield for a moment, similar to Camazotz and Freya. And I don't know, think of any other god that can just remove themselves from play to do damage. And you've got yourself a pretty strong character in the making. And I think that's a good pick, but top picking seems so strange. Kuzenbo locked in as well as Surtur. Now, of the two picks here, Kuzenbo's kind of been in a spot where he's not necessarily prioritized, but he's been that strong third pick selection. Surtur, on the other hand, hasn't seen very much play, but when we do see him, he's usually just dominating the laning phase. What do you think about these two picks?
Yeah, I think the Kuzenbo pairs well with the Hachi. He's got a lot of CC. He's got a lot of setup. Um, I do think he struggles a little bit into the Ganesha. Uh,
Mhm.
Surtur is just an absolute lane bully. But pairing it against a Cthulhu, which is full clearing wave at level 3, level 4, we'll see. Have to see how it goes.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup to watch for sure. And I do think the Ganesh response is very good from Vibe Tribe. Doesn't really have much to say about the Surtur, but no matter what jungle I think Bodega Hive goes for at this point, Ganesh is a pretty strong pick into most assassins. So it's, I think, a very strong third pick. Meanwhile, Vibe Tribe takes away that Kukulkan and Thor. Bodega only having taken away the Camazotz by now. What do you think a good final ban for Bodega Hive would be here?
For the Hive, man, you got to realize how beefy this front line is. Okay, the Morgan, unless you've got a Star Morgan pick, I think that's kind of a troll ban. But hey, what do I know? You
Yeah,
know,
I mean that's fair. Go ahead.
I am looking to see a Nemesis lock in here from the Bodega Hive at some point.
Yeah,
They've got a Cthulhu.
very strange. By the way, I'd like to add to that we didn't see a Nemesis ban from Vibe Tribe, prioritizing that Cuckoo in Thor. Whenever that pick in particular would be very strong, especially now with a Baba Yaga lock in. Could the Nemesis be an oversight here for Vibe Tribe?
It's got to be. I mean, I love Baba Yaga. I think she's an extremely underrated mid. I think she's always good. You know, she's got the home sweet home. She's got
Mm-hmm.
safety in her dash. She does a metric truckload of damage.
Not
You
the
can
words you wanted to use.
right. Um, she's I see a lot of Babas built into breastplate, which is really good for her. And the book build has died a little bit, but Baba still just gets free stacks. So you know, if
you
Vibe
know,
Tribe,
go ahead.
you Vibe Tribe might have left the Nemesis up on purpose, looking to do a counter pick here at the last pick, though.
That's very possible, and they still need their jungle, and so I would agree with you there that maybe that's what they're looking for. But Bodega Hive probably smell that similar trap, and instead opt for the Hun bots now and the Scylla as well. Now, something I've got to mention: Vibe Tribe haven't picked their jungle yet. A Wheelix is available, and they do have a composition that it would be strong for. But Vibe Tribe are actually looking at this Lancelot pick, and they're going to lock it in. So it looks like Vibe Tribe had a strategy, and at least definitely in their bottom three picks. What do you have to say about this Lancelot?
I love it. I love the Lancelot pick into the Bodega Hive comp. Jousting Field, Cripple. 4 of you have dashes, leaps. Um, Basically forces you to use beads to get out of that, and then on top of that, you've got a Cthulhu and a Ganesha. I love it. I think it's a great pick.
I think it's also a great pick. Really kind of chokes the Bodega Hive's potential in any engagements here if they want to disengage or re-engage or engage. Like you said, Jousting Fields is known to be, no pun intended, one of the most crippling ultimates in the game. Um, Simply by what it can do. Not to mention Lancelot himself can't be taken off that horse unless he's stunned. And I don't know about you, I'm not seeing a lot of stuns on Bodega Hive.
Well, you've got the Hachi stun and the Surtur stun. But also important to remember, if you knock the shield down while he's on the horse, he does come off the horse.
Mhm.
Um, I definitely think early game, Five Tribe has got a much better 2v2 mid. Um, Lancelot, I'm probably gonna catch flack for this, but I don't care. Lancelot is an extremely underrated god. He has a lot of burst damage early. He's very mana hungry, but it doesn't matter. There's no way if the players are mechanically the same. There's no way the Humbats is outboxing a Lancelot 1 through 3.
What I do think is very interesting though about this Hunbots lock-in, we haven't talked about him very much, so we'll go ahead and bring him up while we still have the opportunity here. And he doesn't really have a lot of like hard potential here. If you see the Hunbots coming, I mean, Marty can go up into the air, Cthulhu can descend into madness, Baba Yaga can home sweet home, and Lancelot, if he's on his horse, can't be feared. So while the damage will come through, the main reason you're picking Hunbots, in my personal opinion, is obviously for the crowd control. And Vibe Tribe have a lot of ways to just kind of avoid that CC. And if you're relying on your Hunbots, which based on what I'm seeing from the Bodega Hive composition, it looks like we're really relying on Hunbots here for the engagement. You're probably going to be struggling in this game. You're probably, if anything, looking to develop an early lead from your laners, which brings another problem. Hunbots' early game isn't necessarily the strongest.
No, you're playing him. You're absolutely right. You're playing him for fear no evil, and that's the only reason to play Humbats. And you're rushing your cooldowns. Um, and you don't want to ult before you have full Jotuns.
Right.
Lancelot doesn't have that same problem.
No.
Lancelot also has better clear than Humbats does, better early game damage. I think Humbats scales better than Lancelot does, and that's really what we're looking at here from Bodega Hive. You're looking at that Surtur, and that Kuzenbo to get you through the early, and then you've got scaling gods. As to where you look at Vibe Tribe's team, also Baba Yaga's a scaling god, Cthulhu's a scaling god, but also very good pressure. Marty, if Scylla goes conduit, their clear is about even. But he has the added safety of his ultimate, and he's got
Mhm.
his grass, and he's got a stun, and he's got his passive.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, now that's absolutely fair. And that's another thing that we can talk about whenever we look over at Vibe Tribe's composition as well. In comparison to what Bodega Hive have brought to the table, I think Vibe Tribe's composition has absolutely the factors to work against Bodega Hives. You see, I was talking about how the tools that Bodega Hive have brought can ultimately be avoided by Vibe Tribe with their CC immunity and their ultimates and how they work. In the same vein, there's not many ways to avoid what Vibe Tribe had brought to the table aside from just juking it out. You know, you've got Descent into Madness is going to absolutely ruin somebody over there on Bodega Hive. And they don't really have strong tools aside from one ADC. Hachiman is absolutely a character that can wear out a Cthulhu, excuse me. But other than that, like if if Big Blue decides he wants to focus Lickisto down, you're really in a position where you have to turn and help, and that means that damage just isn't coming out. And then you look at the rest of the team, home sweet home, that health shield, not really a lot of ways to deal with that, and it's just going to allow Libra to walk forward and deal more damage. Big Nick energy on this excuse me, I'm struggling with names. Ganesh. And how are you going to avoid a pillar without using your escape tools early? There's so many things on Vibe Tribe's composition right now that make me just lean towards them, and that's going to help me answer the age-old question of who do I favor, and that's clearly, in my opinion, Vibe Tribe.
So,
Oh,
oh
wow.
man, and you see
Well,
the
there's
Surtur
part of
damage
Surtur.
come out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Surtur's going damage first item.
Mm-hmm.
Either or there. But one thing I do want to point out about the Vibe Tribe comp is they have a lot of zoning and they have a lot of control tools. What they don't have is secure and a traditional ADC.
Okay. That's true.
So in these objective fights, if they pull it, they're going to be in a rough spot because, you know, you've got the Fear No Evil from Humbats. And then on top of that, you've got Scylla Crush and Scylla Ult.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're Vibe Tribe, I mean, you never want Surtur getting first blood in this matchup. It's really
No.
rough. Um, and I think Cthulhu going Vibrant Shard over Horn Shard is a little troll as well.
I agree.
But if
Well,
Vibe Tribe's got to let them pull these objectives and then go for the fight because that's what their team is revolved around.
mm-hmm. So it's really coming down to Vibe Tribe needs to be the one starting fights, and if they don't start fights, then they're not likely to win this game. Cthulhu being poked out once again, and that allows me to segue over to something else that I wanted to talk about. Cthulhu has been in, I think, everyone's mind, probably one of the strongest picks in solo lane right now. Conduit Gem buff made him come back a little bit stronger. Then you add on the Surtur ult going up into the air, coming back down onto Lancelot, maybe able to find another kill here if he is able to get it. And Jungle Jimmy gets a second kill. And that's just what I wanted to talk about. This is the thing that you pick Surtur for. If you're not winning lane on Surtur, you get zero value out of this pick. And Jungle Jimmy is absolutely getting value out of it right now.
Absolutely. It's 3 minutes in. He's 2-0, and they just took the Cthulhu's blue. Oh man, this Cthulhu it's gonna be rough for him. I like
But
the
that
idea of the gank coming in from Profound there,
Hmm.
but you've got to realize when you're over pushing, and it is a Surtur, he does a lot of damage, and Surtur has a full Sekhmets up
Yeah.
on this Cthulhu.
Finally gets that segment scepter finished for himself, and that's going to allow him to do a lot more damage early on. Plus that Warrior's Axe proc, he's going to be popping when late game comes around. And I don't mean that in a metaphorical sense. It will literally pop someone like a balloon. It's going to be fun to watch. But that's also what allows me to go back to the Cthulhu. I think whenever Cthulhu came back into the meta, a lot of people kind of forgot how to play around him. The easiest way to beat a Cthulhu is to beat him in lane. He's still a guardian. Out pressure this character. I think that is one of the things about the Bodega Hive draft that makes a lot of sense to me. They get this really strong bully pick out of the Surtur and put him up against a god who absolutely can get bullied. And if Cthulhu is, say, 2, maybe 3 levels down in the late game, he's not going to have the same effect that he would need to in the team fights as a god that is absolutely designed to team fight.
Yeah, keeping the Cthulhu down's good. Um, and keeping your Surturs up is good. The one thing that you need to be mindful of if you're Bodega is the Surtur needs, with the lead he's got, needs to be doing early rotations.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
eh, I don't really
Yeah.
think that was necessary, but hey, assert your dominance, you go, King. Um, as Lancelot's coming in, if he can get this kill, he does have Jousting Field available.
He does not know that he's there. He's trying to take the totem, goes up into the air, but too little, too
Huge
late. And
shutdown.
Profound Sock will get the shutdown onto the Bodega Hive solo laner. So at least a little bit of a sign of life gives that Big Blue some time to farm as well.
And as you see, the gold essentially going back to even after that kill as well.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was saying is you want this Surtur to be big so he can make those early rotations to these objectives. Because if Surtur gets late game, oh no. Here comes a Lancelot to play, followed up by the Fear No Evil. He will get that kill, but now he's in a world of pain. Should just be just fine though. Home Sweet Home does come out.
Very good.
Um,
Strong
good
play
trades.
from Vibe Tribe there. That was really good on their part. Grabs that jungle as well. Unfortunately, doesn't get a shutdown onto Profound Sock, but I think they're still happy to at least trade their mid for that jungle.
Yeah, I think so. Vibe Tribe does have a slight goal lead now. Which
Yeah.
is, it's great for them. The Cthulhu is back in it a little bit, still about half a level down here, but that's not such a big deal. What you need to be worried about is keeping him down before these team fights happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that Profound has this mentality with the Lancelot of just inting at people at this point in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason being is he gets a lot of value out of doing it. What do you get? He kills the Surtur, then he rotates mid, and he gets killed there. As you see, oh my goodness,
Oh, half
Hachiman.
health. Hachi falling very low. Marty trying to finish this one off. Does get stunned. Pops the beads. Hunbot's lurking around as well. Maybe the end for this Martikros. Going to try and do his last bit of damage here, but gets slammed down by the overhead slam from Arconic Prince. And that's going to be another kill for this Hunbot's pre-10 minutes.
I'm gonna call it like it is, man. That was a solo kill. Hachiman was getting that kill, whether the Goon Squad was there or not. Good on this Lance to make a rotation over here to make sure that this purple buff doesn't get invaded. What I want to talk about here is the mid-game matchup.
Yeah.
And I think the Lancelot is getting more value mid-game than the Humbats is.
I can agree.
I also think that the Ganesha is getting more value than the Kuzumbo is. So I'm really curious to see how these objective fights are going to go. Because Vibe Tribe, this is not an unwinnable game for Vibe Tribe. Yes, you're up against a higher seeded team. But overall, Vibe Tribe has an easier executable team comp than Bodega
Mm-hmm.
Hive does. And that comes down to a lot of it. Sure, they got a Hachiman, best ADC, has been the best ADC for a long time. As you see, Bodega Hive going in and invading Vibe Tribe's jungle with no response.
Oh wow.
He's
Big Nick energy first to fall in this one. Lancelot going to use the jousting fields, gets caught on a wall, trying to find a return kill onto the enemy mid laner if he can. Blinks forward, gets the auto attack cancel, and Brotaco goes down. Now Baba Yaga has been the target for Vibe or for Bodega Hive, but they may not be able to find him under that tower. Thoughtful throws something over to the tower, but does not get the kill. So it's a 1-for-1 trade, but Bodega Hive losing their mid laner there means that I think Vibe Tribe come out on top of that engagement. Very well played from them.
Yeah, it was. I was gonna say there was no response, and then there was a response right after I said that. The starter got got a little rotation in there. I probably wouldn't have rotated there because you don't have quite a big enough lead to be coming to a fight that is not objective centered.
Yeah.
Um, and you don't want to give this Cthulhu an end to the game.
No.
And now starters heavily losing these trades.
Yeah. And that's what we expected as Surtur falling down to about 50% health, trying to do some damage back, but that shield, that glad shield allowing him to just do some more damage in return. Surtur forced to go up into the meteor, considers re-engaging, but realizes that that's not the fight he wants to take anymore. And just as you were putting it there, though, that's Surtur had the opportunity to really run away with this one, got caught out, made one minor mistake, and he is suffering for it now. But Hunbot's hiding in the jungle, waiting to see if he can do something for his solo laner here, has that Fear No Evil available if he decides to go in, playing a very patient game right now. Decides he doesn't feel like this is the right engagement. Maybe changes his mind, though. I see him going back over there. Surtur falling down very low. Cthulhu doesn't realize that there's the Fear No Evil and a stun inside. It means he takes the entire tick, and Arconic Prince will find his 4th kill, 4-0 on the Hunbots. He is getting massive value out of these rotations right now.
Yeah, that should lead directly into invades on the back camps as well. Blue's coming up here shortly. Yeah, starter versus Cthulhu, and Cthulhu dashes in without wards up,
Yeah. Tough.
knowing that they have a Humbats that has been over to your lane multiple times already. That's a little rough.
A 4-0 Hunbots at that, 3-0 at the time, so you know he's looking for something to keep that lead going. Still the same level as Profound, but I think he has a legitimate lead in this situation, especially when you look at itemization. Profound Sock opts for that Transcendent second item, as you mentioned. He is very mana hungry. He definitely likes to have that Transcendence online. It helps him out. Humbots doesn't necessarily need it. He does like it, but doesn't need it. Meanwhile, Hachiman hops on his own horse to get away from the Lancelot, diving into this tower, and no jousting fields to get him back on that horse. Likisto will still fall to Nova Shark over in this lane, but Profound Sock also goes down, giving Nova Shark at least a kill in response. So a 1-for-1 trade in the duo lane, a little bit of a botch situation on Profound Sock.
Yeah, I was talking about the inting style. That's not exactly what I
That's not
wanted
what
to
you
see.
that's not what you meant, right? I said int, not feed. Oh no,
But
it's Humbots coming in. This is a turn into a beacon fight. Ganesh gonna get backed off, and now the Marty
no.
shows up. Massive burst damage onto the Scylla, forces her to back off, giving Vibe Tribe that favorable position. But now all of Bodega Hive backing off once again. Another bit of burst, but going back onto Vibe Tribe. Marty doesn't have ult in this situation, so doesn't have a get out of jail free card if too much damage goes his way. Scylla gonna get caught on the pillar as Cthulhu comes in, and he's gonna make the most of his rotation here, and they will find a kill onto Arconic Prince, as well as I'm So Thoughtful, and Vibe Tribe will be able to get this beacon, and that possibly means a Gold Fury in our future, and that's what you pick the Cthulhu for. He hasn't been doing so hot in lane, but it doesn't matter because he gets instant value out of his first rotation.
yeah, and that's exactly what I was talking about this Vibe Tribe comp. I do think Bodega got a little baited there. When they saw the Marty beads nothing, they decided to kind of commit there, and just kind of underestimated the amount of team fight presence that Vibe Tribe has.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's showed. It's very much shown in that as well. They just weren't prepared for the team fight pressure that they would bring there, and it sounded like you had something else you wanted to add to that.
yeah, the Baba also picked up a shutdown kill on this 4-0 Humbats,
Mm-hmm.
which
Hmm.
is nothing to be scoffed at. Um, that's the only thing about having a solid.
Oh, Lancelot saw his blue getting touched. Surtur forced up into the meteor strike. Actually looks for an
Oh no.
engagement off of this. Decides to change his mind at the last minute, but it may have been a misplay for him. Baba Yaga now going to get turned on by Arconic Prince. Maybe an attempt to turn that kill back around. Uses the Aegis. Overhand slam. A good shell has saved his life, though. And now Hunbots is the one that's going to get taken down. Libra does finally fall to the monkey toss, and Arconic Prince gets his revenge kill onto the mid laner, but not without him and his solo laner going down in the process. An attempted steal, and it won't happen. Bodega Hive uses the ultimate through the Dharmic Pillars. So Bodega Hive managed to get the Gold Fury, but they lost 2 of their members in the process. I'm going to leave it up to you to decide if that was worth it or not.
So I'm gonna say this. Yes, they got the Gold Fury, but they lost 2 other people on the right side, and on top of that, it lost Kuzenbo ult, and they lost Scylla ult, all for Dharmic Pillars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Something they could definitely pay attention to. They absolutely could find a team fight, much like this Hachiman is finding his engagement torn to pieces by this Martikros. Going to take this T1 tower as well. Feeling the pressure. I find this interesting, by the way. We may have found the secret to dealing with Hachiman here. And it's called clear better than him. Maybe.
the thing is Hachi. Oh
Oh,
no.
and it's like Mark T. Cross has found out where the Fear No Evil has come from, and it's the Hun bots right there. But Profound Sock made the rotation as well, and the counter gank pays off in full. No iron price is paid because nothing is returned.
Yeah, and I think that's the power of Jousting Field there, right? Humbats
Mhm.
could have just leaped away, but not in a cripple. And
He did die
now,
with beads up.
yeah, I mean, do you really want to bees the cripple?
No, I'm not saying he
um,
should have done it. He probably still would have died regardless, but, they were up.
Bats also used Fear No Evil there.
Yeah.
Um, now you're seeing Vibe Tribe with a little bit of a lead on their hands here, and you've got this Lancelot, fully stacked Transcendence, 30% CDR online. You've got the Cthulhu, also with 30% CDR. I think you're safe to pull Pyromancer in their face here and bait in a fight.
I think so too. I absolutely agree with the team fight tools that Vibe Tribe has. They have the ability to pull objectives in front of Bodega Hive and say, hey, we don't have any hard secure, but if you want to come and stop us, we'll just drop the objective and fight you instead. Because we have, jousting fields and what's that? But we have jousting fields. We have Descent into Madness. We have, well, not
Oh
anymore,
no.
but doesn't matter. He did what he needed to with it. And then we also have Home Sweet Home. Like Vibe Tribe actually have 2 things going for them that maybe we didn't even recognize. Not only do they have a stronger team fight in general, they also have the ability to take extended engagements because of their overall sustain.
Yeah, I mean the sustain's a little bit. I'm not sold on the sustain that are on Vibe Tribe. Marty, if he gets some poke with the Soul Eater, he can sustain that pretty well. Cthulhu heals a little bit here and there. Um, what I want to point out though is they use 2 ultimates essentially for nothing here,
Yeah.
and if Bodega is communicating, there's 5 ults available to them. They can pull an objective. Kuzenbo is trying to contest not a totem, a beacon. I don't know if that's the play, Chief, unless
Oh,
your goon squad's right there.
was stalling for time. Lancelot is here. It looks like we're going to see a genuine 4v4. Supports are both a little poked out. Kuzumbo more so as the beacon starting to turn the tide over to Bodega High, or to Vibe Tribe, excuse me. And it is a confirmed beacon for Vibe Tribe. No actual fight there. And I think that was a smart decision from Bodega Hive to not take the initial fight there. They want to stay healthy. Their support's already poked out. This Gold Fury is definitely what they're looking towards next because it's an Oni Fury, and that's going to allow them to take any objective on the map with that Oni Fury pressure. If they want to go for a Fire Giant, they're gonna need this they're gonna need this Gold Fury. Cthulhu getting poked out now.
Scylla damage is nothing to scoff at.
No.
She may be 0-2, but it's still a Scylla.
So now with what we're seeing and how Vibe Tribe have been able to constantly get this beacon, keep this pressure up, are you maybe looking to get this Gold Fury over Fire Giant at the moment, try and use it as a tool? Or do you want to just try and pull Fire Giant and look for the fight?
I don't think your gold lead's big enough to do that. I think what you want to do if you're Vibe Tribe here is just go for the fights. You know, if you can kill the Scylla, it's huge. It's a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage. And now you want to be pulling the objective, right? Your Scylla's poked out. She steps up. She just dies. And it does look like what they're going to opt to do is go pull this Pyromancer right now. And if anyone steps up, you've got, you know, tons of damage. Humbats is lurking around, maybe looking for a steal here. Scylla falls.
Finds Brotaco. Now the Fear No Evil hits forward. Cthulhu goes up into the Descent of Madness. Vibe Tribe were able to confirm that Pyromancer, nobody there to really steal it. And they're going to try and find another kill onto Thoughtful here. But he's a little out of range. Descent of Madness does get canceled. But with one dead for 30, means that Vibe Tribe are going to make their way over to their next prize, which is the Oni Fury. And I don't know if this is how you want to go about it, but you're going to try and stop this. This is risky. You have no Fear No Evil. Your Surtur's the only one with a real ult, and that's exactly what they're going to do. I'm So Thoughtful comes in, does get quite a few knockups, but the shell comes out from the Cthulhu. Surtur going to land back down onto the solo laner, and it's a very low Thoughtful that's going to fall first in this fight. Jungle Jimmy falls next. Dharmic Pillars getting massive value, locking in both tanks. And Vibe Tribe said, screw it. We don't need a Gold Fury. Fire Giants right on the other side of the map. Who's going to stop us?
You know, I don't even think it's so much that was just plain and simple how Vibe Tribe wants to play their comp. And now they're starting to get a solid gold lead. They're going to knock down this tower in mid. You should knock it down. It's pretty free. But and now Fire Giant is a possibility. Now you have a solid lead. You have all the team fight ults going to be back up here shortly. And if they come, you just do exactly what you just did on the past two objectives.
Ooh, 1v1 action over in the dual lane. Once again, level 19 Hachiman is a little bit harder of a fight to take. And that means the Marty will finally back off. Can't take this 1v1 anymore. He has to respect what Hachiman's going to be bringing to him now. He's got Kins, he's got Charge Bow, he's got Executioner. This is a much harder 1v1 for Nova Shark now, so not surprised to see him back off.
If you're Nova Shark, you're basically not taking the 1v1 against the Hachi at this point.
Yeah.
He's just gonna outbox you.
But that's okay. Because Vibe Tribe don't want to take 1v1s, right? They want a team fight.
Right, exactly. If you want a 2v1, a 3v1, or 5v5, Vibe Tribe's all about it. I see no reason why they should even be trying to 1v1 at this point.
Surtur taking some damage. Cthulhu throwing some abilities over the wall. Up into the air very quickly is the Surtur. Jimmy does not feel very comfortable about the rest of this engagement. Just trying to take that tier 1 tower, but both solo laners have no ultimate now, something of note for both sides. And I think that's probably far more favorable for Vibe Tribe, who are about to take the quick way over to the Gold Fury, but immediately from Bodega Hive, they say, okay, y'all can have it. We're just going to pull Fire Giant.
Yeah, but without the Hachi there, I don't know if it's a fast enough burn.
And I think that might be what Vibe Tribe are playing for. They've managed to grab this Oni Fury. They're immediately making their way over.
Yep. This is going to be close. This is going to be close.
It's going to be very close. Descent into Madness still isn't up. Scylla does have the ultimate if they need the confirm. Baba Yaga comes over, and Bodega Hive are able to secure it. But now, Vibe Tribe put their foot on the gas. They're going to chase these guys down to the ends of the earth to try and reclaim something off of this stolen Fire Giant, and it will be the Kuzenbo that goes down. Surtur took the wrong way up the lane, and it was recognized by Vibe Tribe. Jungle Jimmy will not be long for this world as soon as they make their way over here. He does have the ultimate available, and that's immediately what he does. Goes up into that meteor, lands into the tier 1 tower. He's just going to try and extend this chase as long as he can. Descent into Madness gets pulled as well, trying to stop the Surtur from running away, but the call has been made from Vibe Tribe. They said, let him go. We're going to get these tier 2 towers with the help of our minions here. Humbot's all the way on the left side of the map to deal with that minion wave. Likisto finds Big Nick energy. Hachiman will fall and pay the price for the support going down. Lancelot inting into this Phoenix right now. Almost dies, but manages to make it out. And the only thing that they get, aside from this beacon, is a tier 2 tower. Help me out here, Barry Toppings. Who wins that?
You know, the Fire Giant doesn't do a whole lot for Bodega here. The Hachiman died. That's the #1 person you want your Fire Giant on.
Mm-hmm.
Kuzenbo died. You know, it's kind of the support's job. You don't mind trading out your support for, you know, Fire Giant. But now, you've lost your tier 2 tower. You lost the primary person you want your Fire Giant on. Scylla has no beads for this next fight, so she's a sitting duck. You get Beacon, and you get a Pyromancer. How many bombs we got at this point? So, you know, I don't hate it. You got 2 bombs. Yeah, Scylla's got fire. Oh well. You've got a Cthulhu and 2 bombs. A Phoenix is right for the taking. There's the Scylla ult. She should just die here because Lance is just riding on her. Yeah, brother, you can't peel him off like that.
Scylla
comes out.
very low.
Madness comes out.
Descent into Madness does come out. Kuzenbo looking like the next target with no mid laner here. And this is exactly what we were talking about on the picks and bans screen as well. There's just not really a lot of tools on Bodega Hive's side to stop Vibe Tribe's composition. I'd be so bold to say that I really think Bodega Hive may have lost this game purely on picks and bans alone. Another hard dive. Lancelot falling very low, though. Arconic Prince at least has the ability to punish a silly play like that.
Yeah, you gotta respect the Humbats. Fear no evil. It's just you're diving a Humbat or any tower without your beads up. You know, you gotta expect something like that. I think Lance was just feeling himself a little too much. One thing I do want to touch on there, though, is I don't think Descent into Madness was needed in that next fight. As you're seeing Surtur just mollywop this, but Baba's right around the corner. Good Aegis.
Good Aegis, and Surtur has to turn tail as the rest of Vibe Tribe show up. Did end up getting Dharmic Pillars, Big Nick Energy, likely feeling a little bit nervous about that engagement, likely expecting a re-engage from Bodega Hive. So another massive cooldown that was expended for what we could say, honestly, no reason. And that's what you were talking about with Descent into Madness. Just didn't seem necessary.
Yeah, and I think if you're Bodega Hive, well, Descent into Madness is back up now, but I still think this is your best time to take a fight. They've got 2 ultimates down. Yes, you've got 2, but you know, your ADC is got Odibo at this point. Should be building into Silver Branch as well. Gonna be swinging for the fences.
So,
but as we see,
oh,
never
okay.
mind. Never mind.
Well, you can't swing for the fences when you're dead.
You cannot. And you're gonna see Primal go down here as well. And if I'm Vibe Tribe, I want to siege off that. Hachi's dead. I've got 2 bombs. I've got Descent into Madness. I just want to blow up a Phoenix.
Yeah. Blow up a Phoenix. Maybe get the last remaining tier 2s if you're really trying to play it safe. This is quarterfinals. Playing it safe is kind of the go-to for a lot of these teams when it gets into these more intense games. They do have Profound Sock over on the left side of the map right now, just split pushing waves, trying to get some pressure off of that tier 1 or off of that left lane. So something going on that side of the map at least.
Yeah, and Fire's going to be back up here very shortly. I do think if you're Vibe Tribe, you want to bait a fight at the Fire Giant pit. You still have a solid advantage in these team fights, and you want to just kind of play the war of attrition unless you get half health by a Scylla, and um, wait for this EFG to come up.
So that's kind of one of the things that I was talking about, though, with the extended engagements that Vibe Tribe could take. Sustain probably isn't the right word, but with the tools that they have, even with the Scylla doing the damage the way that she can, as Martikros takes about half of his health in a matter of seconds, just from Surtur damage alone. Surtur also takes about half his health in response. So a
Yeah,
little something, something.
One thing I want to point out: this Surtur is relatively squishy. He's got Sekhmets and Arc Druids and
True.
Glad Shield. He does a lot of damage, but he dies really fast.
Looking for more as Vibe Tribe are able to take that Pyromancer, tries to get some poke out as well. Cthulhu stays up into the Sin of Madness for a little bit longer. At the very least, no attempt at a counter engage from Vibe or from Bodega Hive means that Pyromancer goes relatively free.
Lance in a bad
Lancelot,
spot
he's
here.
really deep right now. Got both backliners looking at him. Goes up on the horse, manages to dodge out the Ayajutsu strike. Almost said the wrong word there. And I, at least right now, Vibe Tribe feel like they're in pretty strong command. I'd like to see them send Lancelot over to this beacon right now, put some pressure on that, make everyone rotate, and that'd be a pretty good time for Vibe Tribe to maybe pull the Fire Giant. Never mind, they don't even need that kind of pressure. They're going to go ahead and pull it. Lancelot got the Fear No Evil as well, doing absolutely nothing but standing there, and uses the Jousting Fields. Up into the air goes the Surtur. He has to get out of here and doesn't have the teleport to come back into this one. There's a lot of tools that just got burned on the side of Bodega Hive. Important tools at that. Surtur no ult means he can't just simply engage. Archonic Prince, no fear, no evil means team fighting just got way more difficult. They're going to turn their attention over to the beacon here to try and get these tier 2 towers weakened. I just think if they try and find another fight, they may be able to just take Fire Giant. You get one kill here, and that's what they're looking for. Kuzumbo just walks up. I'm so thoughtful trying to put pressure on this beacon against Vibe Tribe, but he's just taking damage. Bro, Taco destroys the mid laner, the carry of Vibe Tribe, though, and Descent into Madness comes out, trying to return their lost mid laner's death, but will not be able to. Both backliners get out of this fight. Thoughtful, no mana and no health, though, means the support will fall. Archonic Prince finds the mid laner of Vibe Tribe as well, and it's just a torn apart engagement from Bodega Hive that manages to find a little by little victory.
Yeah, you trade a 1 for 2 there. I think you're pretty happy with it. Honestly, that Bro Taco comes up huge there with the Scylla ult.
Yeah. You know,
TP
you absolutely know Nova Shark is asleep at the wheel there. Didn't even expect that.
Now, Cthulhu does TP back in. Unfortunate, had to been a comms clutter there. Probably thinking we were gonna pull an objective. Gonna go deep here. Shouldn't be in too much danger, realistically, unless the rest of the squad comes up. I'm a little surprised that this Hachi isn't going again to the Silver Branch instead he's opting for Titan's Bane.
He is, isn't he?
Typically, you see the Titan's Bane on the Mannequins builds, not the Arrow builds.
Yeah, actually, I just realized what you're saying. He went a crit starter and didn't build crit. Interesting. Maybe just relying simply on the crit off of the starter is enough for him. I don't know.
Just strictly speed. We're gonna see a Fire Giant pull here. Cthulhu is here to say hello. He does have Descent into Madness.
This is what we were talking about too. They have the hard secure, and Bodega Hive are firmly in position to take it, but they do drop the objective. Oh, in the backline, Baba Yaga forced up into the home sweet home, and this is the go button for Vibe Tribe. They say as Hunbots tries to deal as much damage to the Cthulhu as possible, does make him a big juicy target for any of those damage dealers. But 2 ultimates for the price of 1, and Archonic Prince does have to back. but that's a really good pull from Arconic Prince. Not to mention the relics are coming off of cooldown for Vibe Tribe. So does it pay off?
I think I don't think it pays off because you used 3 ultimates there. You got Dharmic Pillars as well.
Oh, I didn't see that. You're right. Huh. Well, Vibe Tribe. Definitely not feeling very good about that one. Gonna drop the Pyromancer. Knows they're about to lose it. Bodega Hive secure. Off of Brotaco, just throwing some abilities out there. Martikros going up into the air. It's another hard engagement, but Bodega Hive just back off.
Yeah, I think Bodega Hives realized, guys, we win the poke war here. We don't want to take full-on fights.
No. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And Scylla going to be the one to pick up the bomb, the only one close enough to do it quickly. Cthulhu going to have that Descent into Madness coming back up shortly, but Novashark doesn't have an ult now. If Arconic Prince is able to get into the back line, might end up just finding that kill. Surtur goes up into the air. Won't be taking any more damage after that. So Soul Laner no longer has an ult. But, I mean, I don't think you're concerned about Surtur having an ult here.
Yeah, I don't think you are either. You know, but I do think that there's a certain key point I want to talk about this matchup. And if you're Vibe Tribe, you still want them to pull these objectives, right? You still want to commit to the 5v5. Okay, now if you get their relics and you get their ultimates and they're essentially TK'd out, then yeah, sure, pull it. But as you see, Freon Evil comes out, but Humbat should just be dead here.
Yeah, they just turn it on him, but I'm So Thoughtful gets back there and actually knocks up the backline after they find that kill. Baba Yaga falling very low. Martikros gets caught up in the rest, but Profound Sock shows up and finds Likasto. Ganesh also low. Dharmic Pillars comes out and Profound Sock comes in and plays hero for Vibe Tribe. Finds 3 members of Bodega Hive. Ganesh still very low though. Means that there won't be an opportunity to find anything else. Lancelot, he's not done. Profound Sock wants to find some more if he can. Finds the Scylla. Blinks forward, gets the double dash. So much damage. Aegis comes out, but Brotaco cannot survive. Now he's going to try and find the support. If he can find any more damage, it's the root, but doesn't dive the Phoenix. Decides to play this one safe as his rest of his living teammates start making their way over to that Fire Giant. Got about 20 seconds until the ADC is back up from Death Timer. But if anybody's going to be able to pull this now with how long these staggered Death Timers are from Bodega Hive, Vibe Tribe have a strong opportunity here, and that's why they go ahead and pull it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's any contention for this Fire Giant at this point. It is EFG as well. One thing I would have liked to see the Lancelot do is just walk inside that tower and knock it down real quick.
Yeah,
but
you got a bomb too.
Well, you wouldn't want to use a bomb for that, but you've got 3 bombs. You're getting ready to have EFG. You've got the better team fight. Just walk in, siege these Phoenixes, and close out the game.
Very fair point, but Vibe Tribe gonna play the safe card here and get that EFG on all 5 members and make their way over to the beacon that will end up knocking that tier 2 tower down, as well as put some damage on these outside Phoenixes. By the way, Barry, we haven't said anything about it. 15-4, by the way, on Profound Sock. This guy has been massive for Vibe Tribe in this game, and we haven't given him his due credit.
Brother, I said it. I gave him credit at picks and bans.
That's fair. That's fair. I never had a problem with the pick either, though. But Primal Fury knocked down to about 50%. Nobody here to contest from Bodega Hive. Means it's a free Primal. Just going to knock off all the objectives on the map and make sure that these objectives can't be taken. No way for Bodega Hive to really climb back, even though we're at the point in the game where there isn't any climbing back. Everyone but the supports have their full build. All relics have been upgraded. All starters are upgraded, so we're not really worried about gold anymore. We're not worried about XP for sure. But we're EFG on Vibe Tribe. This is a great place for them.
Yes, absolutely. You have Descent into Madness. There's no Sunder on the enemy team. Yeah, sure, the Hachi can kind of burn you down a little bit, but you've got 3 bombs. You can essentially just walk right in, take this Phoenix
as they
down.
do. Since Shell comes out very quickly, Descent into Madness comes out, after the fact. He's very low. Surtur going to find that kill. Jungle Jimmy getting the first kill in this siege, but it's a very low health bars on Vibe Tribe. It's actually a botched siege from Vibe Tribe here that turns it. Licasto finding another 3 members dead. Profound Sock has to use the Jousting Fields defensively, and the only 2 remaining members alive from Vibe Tribe will be able to escape. There's a lot of walls to knock down for Bodega Hive, though. A tier 1 and left, and all tier 2 still left alive. No in-game potential, but they can get these Phoenixes.
I think they got a little overzealous there. Yeah, I want to see you walk in, but not at least without like, throwing a little bit of poke in there. You know, you can't just face tank it. But look at the relic usage. Sure, you lost 3 people, but you still got pretty good siege defense here. Surtur just gets deleted. Brother, you can't step up when you're that squishy against Lancelot.
Arconic
Evil comes out.
Prince just dropped Fear No Evil. Lancelot knows where he is now. Manages to get quite a bit of health back, taking those down. But now it's the ultimate and the 2 pop, and it just turns onto Arconic Prince, and now Kuzenbo is the ire of the situation as Lancelot starts pouring out damage. Kuzenbo forced to use the ultimate defensively, pops the thorns. Baba Yaga throwing out the Witchfire bolts from the Home Sweet Home, but it doesn't matter. I'm so thoughtful falls. Licasto, the only remaining member left alive of Bodega Hive to defend this Phoenix. They have a bomb in pocket on the Lancelot. 2 members with EFG means that these backdoor protections are still gone, and they'll be able to take this Phoenix. Yeah, you do just go for Titan, and that's the call from Vibe Tribe. Screw this Phoenix, they said, as Hachi falls. Profound Sock finishes the game 20-4 as Vibe Tribe run it down mid, and their jungle wins them the game.
Yeah, man, the Lance pick went huge. That's kind of what I was trying to point out at the beginning of picks and bans.
Yeah.
It went insane, and
Listen, I was on
Profound piloted it perfectly. You can't ask for any more. Your jungler's 20-4. He's got top damage on your team. I think it's safe to say, ban the Lance.
Ban the Lance for sure. And if I'm from the outside looking in, this is what I also have to say. Just to add to that, ban 3 jungle picks. It clearly Vibe Tribe ride on their jungler's back to win them the game. That's not a bad thing. Sometimes having a star player is just a really strong way to win a game, and clearly it works for Vibe Tribe. But your 7th seed here in this first quarterfinals matchup for Kane's division manages to take a game off of the 2nd seed Bodega Hive. Pretty big deal going on right here today, Barry. But we're going to come right back for game 2 and see if the 7th seed can take more than just a game and instead just a whole set off of the 2nd seed right after this break. everybody? Welcome back. We're still here in Frank's retirement home. I'm still Freaky G. It's still Barry, and it's still Salty, and it's still Bodega Hive versus Vibe Tribe, but with one very interesting little twist. Vibe Tribe, the seventh seed in regular season, manages to take game one off of Bodega Hive, the second seed, off of a stellar performance from the jungle Profound Sock on Lancelot.
Yeah, it's quarters, baby. If you're gonna pull it out now. Time for the upsets. Um, you do see Bodega Hive getting rid of this Lancelot. I think it's excellent.
Yeah.
Bans are flowing through here, pretty much unchanged from Bodega, other than the Lance, heavily targeting the jungler. I can't say as I blame them. On the other side, we got a Charon and an Odin ban.
Yeah, you got to get rid of these jungle picks, and I think that's exactly what I. That's actually no, that's exactly what I said. Going into this game, if your jungler is a key player, well then ban the jungle. Don't let them play something comfortable, and that's exactly what Bodega Hive do. And they also recognize pretty early on, hey, one of the best mages in the game right now just got left open. Let's pick him up. Agni going to be in this one for Bodega Hive.
Yeah, I think the Agni's a good pickup. What I will say is I was not a fan of the Marty last game. I'm not a fan of it this game. Not in the ADC slot, but if it's not broke, don't fix it. And um, Dodgy and Finmir are still on the board
Yeah,
against this Agni.
yeah, there's some options for sure. Daji would be a great pick. Fenrir would be a great pick. I mean, there's plenty of assassins that can be played that play well into Agni. I'd have to say those two you mentioned being probably the two best. And Bodega Hive are really thinking about what they want to go in their next second and third spot here in the first round of picks. What do you think would be a good selection for them into this Cthulhu Martikaros?
Uh, Nemesis for one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think Nemesis is just. I think she's a very underrated pick. Um, in my humble opinion, and you know we're gonna see the Surtur run back here. It was good into the Cthulhu. We're gonna see the Ganesha. I'm so
Okay.
glad we're not seeing the Kuzenbo back here. It just didn't do what you wanted your Kuzenbo to do, and Ganesha is just going to A, take it away from Vibe Tribe, and B, provide better support for your backline.
Yeah, I really like this Ganesh pick as well. It takes it away from Big Nick Energy. He had a pretty good game on this one. Not 20 and 4 like his jungler, but still manages to, have presence in the support role on this pick. So taking it's almost like the fourth ban, and I also really like this Surtur pick. I don't think we got to see it come into its full fruition last game. It was meant to bully the Cthulhu, and Profound Sock manages to get an early kill, and it never really did what it was supposed to do. And so now we may get another chance to see that. Vibe Tribe, though, going to change their support pick mainly because they have to. And they opt for this Athena. This pick's fallen off pretty hard since the most recent patch. What are your thoughts on this one?
I hate the Athena.
Mm,
I'm not gonna lie, I hate it. So her taunts has got a 17-second cooldown on it. Ult's been nerfed over and over and over again. This god is not it. Um, in my opinion, it's very handy for setting up. Of course, a taunt is a taunt, but I think you
right.
have other options I would have rather seen. As we see more bands come through, Hachi, X-Ball, Dodgy.
Yeah, very smart from Bodega Hive. Gets rid of the Daji, a pick that, as you mentioned, very strong. And since the ADC doesn't get locked in, Vibe Tribe opt to take away two of what has been argued as the strongest hunters in the game right now of X Ball and Hachi. So Vibe Tribe keeping their options open while getting rid of some very strong picks. They already know what their ADC is going to be. And Bodega Hive looking to ban away their last pick here. What do you think they go? Do they get rid of this Fenrir now, or do they maybe get rid of that Nemesis, or not Nemesis? They take Robin off the table, actually. Never mind.
Not a bad ban. He can still stick to your carries. The Robin can. And they're not gonna pick a Fenrir and a Ganesha. Most likely, the Ohm is just it's gonna keep him from doing what he wants to do.
Right. And this pick from Vibe Tribe is another pick that's very interesting. Discordia, not the kind of CC that you were expecting out of the mid laner, but still very strong damage potential. Still no secure on the side of Vibe Tribe either. Give me your thoughts on this Discordia pick.
When you pick Discordia, you're playing her essentially to give a side lane or someone an advantage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, that advantage you're playing for if you're Vibe Tribe is probably your jungler, from what I've seen. Um, because from what I saw in game one, your Cthulhu is not going to outbox a Surtur ever, um, as long as he plays it the same. And we're gonna see a Thor lock in. I love the
Oh,
Thor lock in. I would still rather have seen the Nemesis, but Thor brings your. Now you're looking at Bodega Hives. They have the team fight comp. They've got the
yeah.
Ganesha. They've got the Thor setup. They've got the Agni bombs.
And
and,
I've got to throw it out. Oh, go ahead. You had something else to say.
and then you've got the early game as well between the Surtur Ganesha and the Anhur. I love this comp 100 times more than the last comp they ran.
Yeah, I 100% agree. There's no argument against Bodega Hive's selections here. As Vibe Tribe hovering that Maman Brigitte, not something we've seen in quite a while. But back to Bodega Hive's composition. Yeah, Thor brings so much team fight potential. I also love this Ganesh pick for another reason I didn't mention, but he's also very strong into the Cthulhu pick. If he descends into madness, you just throw pillars, and he's going to get caught on a couple lines and shred his prods, deal damage, as well as just maybe getting him stuck on those pillars as well. So a very strong pick out of this Ganesh. And on her, I think, is another really good decision here from Bodega Hive. Hachiman kind of struggled in that early game against the Martikaros. Just that burst potential from the Marty that made it very difficult in the early and mid game for him to really fight back. Honor, on the other hand, doesn't have that problem. He will be able to 1v1 very easily into this Martikaros, can get that ultimate out. It's going to be an interesting lane to watch. And finally, we see this Maman getting locked in. So you're the jungler. You have a better idea of what goes on in that role. What do you think about this Maman pick? Is it the one that they needed?
No, I think this Maman is gonna get thrashed unless he is just a better player than what's on the enemy team. Um, Maman is a scaling character. Thor comes on earlier. He's got the physical items. The physical items are cheaper. Thor's burst. It doesn't require him to utilize his passive like Mamon's does. Another thing I want to say about this five tribe comp is they don't have secure and they don't have burn.
So trying to go for the same style, it looks like, except they don't have that Lancelot at their disposal, as well as, I mean, when you're looking at the bands here, it's almost like Vibe Tribe just kind of recognized where the problem was. It's 5 assassin bands from Bodega Hive. They immediately realized, okay, well, if Profound's going to put up a 20 kill game, let's just give him as little as possible to choose from the assassin tab. Hear me out. Maybe this is my solo lane brain speaking here. Is Would it have been better for Vibe Tribe to maybe instead go for a warrior pick here rather than this Mammon?
I'll be completely honest with you. Erlon goes crazy into this comp.
Yeah. Okay.
Erlon goes crazy. I think another really good pick that people aren't even considering is the Alquang. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if you're wanting one of those late game hyper carry gods, Alquang comes to mind, especially if you're looking at magical. I like him 1,000 times better than Mammon. The damage comes out faster. He's got an execute. Um, support's not probably not building beads, right?
Yeah.
Um, so it's pretty much a free execute off on the support. If he ohms you, then the rest of the team is going to blow him up. You know,
Yeah. Fair.
I think I think there's better options, but he may be a really good Mammon. That's what I'm saying is that's one thing I do want to point out is if you're the better player, it just doesn't matter. But we are going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. We finally got our issues sorted out here. Looks like a trade didn't get made, so we had to send that one to a break while they figured out their little mishap there. But looking at what we've got here, Barry, it a completely new look from Bodega Hive versus a similar idea on the side of Vibe Tribe with a little bit of a little bit weaker tools on their side. Do you think Vibe Tribe still have the ability in this game to take it to a 2-0 victory for themselves and become the 7th seed winners? Or do Bodega Hive turn this one around on them and we go to game 3?
So if I'm looking at the comps, strictly as comps, not looking at player evaluations or anything like that, my money goes to Bodega. Now, with that being said, Vibe Tribe absolutely has the capabilities of taking this to 2-0. But Vibe Tribe also has a harder to execute comp, in my personal opinion, as we're gonna see the Marty early game damage come out.
Oh my goodness. On her already knocked down to 25%. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, it's the same thing. Bodega Hive getting pressured out. It's looking like we're seeing a very strong early momentum start from Vibe Tribe here.
Yeah, they've got the momentum. You want to keep that going. Ganesha is one shot. So the carry and the support.
What
And
is this?
this is a complete reversal from what we saw the first game. Surtur is not getting that extra damage that he wanted. Bodega will get the sides, get a little bit of XP, a little bit of gold in their pockets. Maybe our Surtur there got a little ahead of himself, as we should see a gank come out from this Thor. Thor pre-5 ganks, not great. Just gonna go back to the Naga. No chance of killing this Cthulhu at this point.
No, not likely. And very interesting that we see the bully being the guardian this time around, playing a much safer game as Big Blue. Surtur already knocked down to about 50%. Still gonna be able to out pressure the waves, out clear. And I want to talk about this matchup a little bit. Agni versus Discordia. You got some TC immunity, some banish ability from the disco, but so much pressure and so much damage coming from Brotaco. Once he gets that level 5, it's gonna be interesting to see how this lane plays out.
Yeah, I want to say again, you're not playing disco for the damage she's outputting early. And the Agni is a much safer pick, with the exception of him not having CC immunity on his ult. And we're going to see a little bit of an invade come here as the Goon Squad from Bodega Hive comes over, looking to lock this one down. Should be a first blood.
Arconic Prince gets the first blood, and now it's the Athena trapped among 3 members. Agni doesn't stick around for this one, really relying on his team there, and for good reason. As Big Nick Energy falls, a failed purple buff invade turns into first blood and a 2-way swing, and one of those kills going on to Arconic Prince early on. That first blood for Thor, pretty massive.
Yeah, huge for the Thor. You want to get the Jotuns on early before you you ult in and do some dunking on Thor. One thing I want to point out, the reason that the Surtur was not able to bully the Cthulhu as hard early game, Cthulhu opted to go for a tier 1 breastplate here instead of just getting the conduit.
I think that's a much smarter decision. I mean, as a solo laner myself, when you're playing Guardians and you're playing into these physicals, you need that MP5 and you absolutely need those prots. You're going to get bullied early. Your scaling is what you're relying on as a Guardian. Having that Breastplate of Valor start feels really nice on a solo laner.
Yeah, absolutely. Plenty of cooldown, sustain, prots. You gotta love it. It's just a really solid item as he comes
Strong
back with a full breastplate. I still hate the Vibrant Shard on the Cthulhu. Hate it.
I would personally be going Horn Shard there, so I don't hate you for that feeling. But it's all about player comfortability, and if he feels like that's helping him in the long run, then so be it. He is winning this lane right now, so that's something to consider. Not by much, but he's still winning it. Well, maybe not. There's an assist on Arconic. or not Arconic on Jungle Jimmy. I don't know where that came from. Actually, that's interesting. Anyways, so we see the swing going back and forth. Both junglers over on the right side of the map right now. Maybe potential for a gank.
Yeah, Surtur's got no mana. You're gonna see this Mammon come in. She
Ooh,
does
gets the
have a little bit of
fire. Some
damage.
dot. Ultimate comes out with the knockup. Doesn't even bother going into the ult. Probably just realizes he's dead. And the first gank from Vibe Tribe, resulting in a kill. Great job from Profound Sock.
Yeah, Profound comes in with that the Mammon passive. He's got his tier 2 item. He knows his damage output. I love it.
Little bit of a jump dance party over here on the blue buff. Both junglers realize exactly what's
Oh,
about to
rude.
happen. Oh, and he cancels it out, but now they're going to turn it around. Thor forced up into the air. Agni making the rotation, looking to land right onto the Cthulhu, gets the double stun. Mammon backs out, gets stuck inside of Dharmic Pillars. Arconic Prince finds Big Blue. Agni damage is massive, and Bro Taco will find the second kill there. Jump party turns into jump death for Vibe Tribe.
Yeah, I think Bodega Hive from game 1 was like, hey, teamfight comps are pretty damn good. So let's run one. And
I
then
think that
we've been team fighting from 3 minutes into this game.
I think that's a very fair look at it, and Blue Buff going to get stolen away from Vibe Tribe as well. So unfortunate start, and still unfortunate later on. You get that gank, and it still just doesn't matter on her. Waiting around, going to try and steal away something here. He pops the ultimate, steals away one, but not the other. Purple Buff does not get stolen, and it gets picked up by Athena as well. That's a feels bad for Marti Karas. But you're at least happy to get one of those buffs confirmed, I guess.
Yeah, I do wanna say, like, I don't want to count Vibe Tribe out. They had a very similar start in game 1, right? A
Mm-hmm.
little rough on the early game. Um, but I think your junglers here are gonna come down to a lot of game-defining plays in this set. Both of them kind of want to do the same thing, with Mammon being that little bit more of a I want to full commit to you style, as to
Mm-hmm.
where Thor is a lot better at setting up his team for kills. And so far, I'm liking Arconic Prince's Thor. I think it was a little scuzzo to, go for the jump party and then just bash someone in the face. But hey,
Hey, it's
uh,
quarterfinals. You got to be ready for anything. Just like the Surtur's not ready for the descent into madness. Uses the ultimate to go up into the air so he can avoid death once again. Ultimate for ultimate trade, though, comes out in favor of Big Blue.
yeah. And again, we're gonna see the Surtur go into the Sekhmets in a tier 1 Genjis, I'm assuming. And should be a pretty easy kill for this Mammon. He's got no ultimate, and he has very little magical prots.
Gonna walk right in, realizes the trouble he's in. No ultimate this time. Ultimate from Amon's gonna do quite a bit of damage. Surtur falling low, gets the stun at least. Diving the tower is Big Blue, and he will get the kill this time. As over on the other side of the map, Big Nick Energy finds Lickisto with the help of his team, but now the Athena looking very low.
Oof.
Goes into the Phoenix Tower, and survives this one. Bodega Hive going to back off here. Maybe looking at an early Gold Fury, though, but with no ADC, it could be kind of tough. No, they're going to ignore it. I think that's the right decision.
Athena did use her shell there as well, afraid of the Thor coming in and finishing her off. As this Discord, oh, oh, comes out, a little hammer action comes out. No kills yet. Mammon is lurking around here. Thor over
Just
here doing a little bit of invading. It's good
so
stuff.
trying to find any kind of engage or counter engage. Doesn't find that over the wall through the wall. Love that. But yeah, an attempt at the very least. But Big Nick Energy finding that kill onto Lickisto probably feels pretty good for Nova Shark. He also fell in that fight, so Big Nick Energy having to play cleanup there. But I think the dual lane is still a very even affair for both of these ADCs, and I'm sure they're both okay with that.
Yeah, unfortunately for this Marty, Honor hurts, dude.
Mm.
Like, he just hurts. And then, the boys are almost always right around the corner if he gets into a tough spot. As you see the Skin Nesher rotating over here, um,
Looking
Marty
like
ult
it could
comes
turn
out.
into a fight. Marty ult does come out on her, forced to jump away. Has the ult still in pocket, but with how low he is, it could turn into a full-on engagement as Thor lands down on top of Nova Shark. Great job stopping him on the Dharmic Pillar's damage as well. Likisto going to be able to walk out of this engagement as the supports farm up the duo lane for their carries instead. Great job from Bodega Hive once again. Arconic Prince just looks so good on this Thor, man.
Yeah, I'm liking it. Where was it game one?
Yeah.
uh, but nah, all jokes aside, it's still, but you look at the gold, it's still relatively even.
Yeah. It's a very close game right now, even at the 10-minute mark. 6 kills to 3. I mean, that XP graph is all over the place. Gold been firmly in the hands of Bodega Hive for the most part, evened up now. Uh, so that being said, that means objectives are going to be fairly difficult to pull as well. Don't get me wrong, Bodega Hive have the better secure, but even with that, Agni secure is not the greatest secure when it comes to a mage, right?
It's a little delayed, right? It's no final judgment or Spirit of the Night wins, that's for sure. But what Agni does bring to the table here is,
Ooh,
ooh, brother,
falling
oh
very
brother,
low, able to transfer some of that damage back. Ultimate's going to come out from the support. Does not matter, though. Maybe able to turn this kill back around if he can find a little bit more damage. Good knockback, though, from the Impale. He's still getting chased down. Disco's here, but that slow from the pillar, the pillar, I don't know what that ability's called, but the sand is going to get him
shifting
out. Is
sands.
it shifting sands?
I don't know. That's
Surprised.
what he says. That's what he says when he uses it.
Huh. I'm gonna take your
Um,
word on that one. But yeah, great job staying alive and great job finding the solo kill over there in the duo lane. That's what you picked us on her for, though, right?
yeah, you're wanting those solo 1v1 kills. You're essentially like a Marty in that aspect, but better,
Mm-hmm.
and you can still do ADC things. Um, you know, and as I said before, your boys are always right around the corner. It looks like you're heavily prioritizing this duo lane. They know where they have the advantage. And Mamon's been setting on this Surtur a little too much, in my opinion. Sure, having your Cthulhu be a little bit ahead is great, but if you're not making the rotations, you're not looking to team fight, it doesn't do you a whole lot of good.
Absolutely. And playing for playing for late game is Vibe Tribe, and they're still in a better in a better spot for that type of style, I'd have to say. But when you get into these late games, Thor flying in from the sky, Surtur flying in from the sky, Dharmic pillars keeping you from running. Late game is going to be a very interesting one. The scaling composition isn't Vibe Tribe's hands, but Bodega Hive have such a strong team fight for that late game.
Yeah, no, there's no denying that. Bodega Hive has a vastly superior team fight. Um, but what Bodega Hive doesn't have is a late game Mammon,
True.
and you know it's not to be scoffed at. It does take a little bit of time to get online. Thor, like I said, Thor does come on a little bit earlier, but Mammon does have a little bit of an XP lead here. Um, about the same items. Thor didn't go into that Hydra's like we typically see Thor's do. Second
Yeah.
item, he opted for the Transcendence instead, so he still hasn't hit those big power spikes.
Might be looking for a little more overall burst, though. Dharmic Pillars gonna lock in two. Thor going up into the air. Cthulhu takes the teleporter to get the fast track over for the team fight. Ganesh falling low, but Mammon falling very quickly. Arconic Prince is 4-0. Martikros taking some damage from the Agni behind him. Double stun, but no follow up. Great job from I'm So Thoughtful, just maintaining his position there and coming out for his team with a solid ultimate. And just now Bodega Hive looking at Gold Fury.
Yeah, a lot of low health bars there, as we see the Cthulhu rotation in as well. Um, it's not gonna matter though, even if you trade out the Thor here,
Oh, what an
which
apple
you will see.
snipe.
That's a
Oh,
shutdown kill. That's good. You want it. 1-0 Discordia with a shutdown kill on a 4-0 Thor. Pretty damn good.
So now the question begs, if you're Vibe Tribe, does that feel pretty good? You get the shutdown kill. I believe it was Discordia who got that shutdown kill as well. And even though Bodega Hive take that Gold Fury, that first Gold Fury not really being too special except for Golden XP, does that even out really, or is that still Bodega Hive coming out on top?
I want to say that the Thor was almost worth more than the Gold Fury,
Hmm,
and
that's fair.
it all went on to one player. So, I think it's about even because your Mammon still got an XP lead. Thor gets shut down. Your Disco gets a little bit caught up. It's not quite as far behind on this Agni as she was before. Um, you still gotta be wary though because they still have the better team fight. You're gonna have to be getting on these objectives and not let that happen because you get Agni's got 3 bombs. That's good secure. It's the best secure in the game in this game specifically.
Wow, 3-man rotation from Bodega Hive over to the solo lane. Cthulhu gonna hide under that tower, forced to take that farm close to his own tower line. But not really anything coming of it. Bodega Hive, though, are grouping onto Pyromancer here. Nobody around from Bodega or from Vibe Tribe to contest except Athena. So they're gonna walk forward, push her off the objective, and it's a free Pyromancer for Bodega Hive.
Where is the Vibe Tribe from game 1?
That's a good question.
You know, this game is not out of the unwinnable approach yet, but if Bodega Hive keeps this momentum, Anher's got 2 levels. Yes, your Mammon has 2 levels on this Thor, but she's not making her presence known. She's trying to get to that level 20. She's trying to get those power spikes, trying to get the Bumbas upgraded, and that's all
Ooh,
good and
Marty
fine. But
walled off, impaled, and destroyed very quickly. Licasto finding another kill. But you're saying
yeah, that's all good and fine to do that. But look what the Thor's doing.
yeah.
Look at the presence, and he's gonna amble Dawn.
Oh, he
And
misses the Anvil of Dawn, gets taunted back in. Could be another spill for the Thor. Apple bounces around inside the beacon. A little bit of stun action going on, but Arconic Prince goes down again. That's probably the worst thing that could have happened there for Arconic Prince. The off the mark play there. I don't know if Disco jumped or not.
yeah, I think maybe he was feeling himself a little too much. Like we saw Lance do it last game, right? Kind of hinted a little bit silliness, but he fed a little bit. 20-4.
I feel like if you're doing that well, feeding is probably not the right term.
Yeah. But no, I still think they have a decent chance here, especially if the Thor's going to be doing things like that. Um, the Marty's 0-5, so that's a plus. I don't think there's really a whole lot to be said about how the game's being played other than Bodega Hive has a team comp that lets them team fight,
Yeah.
and they're doing that.
Holy cow. As soon as you mentioned it, I realized what you were saying. 4 level deficit, 3.5 level deficit on the ADCs right now. This Martikaros had the ability to play in last game simply because he was able to keep up with the Hachiman. This time around, though, he's suffering pretty badly. And if this Martikaros is going to be joining team fights, come level 20, come 20 minutes when it's time for that team fight stage, I imagine we won't see Marty at all. He'll be in left lane, farming up, not being a part of his team's fight, and that could spell disaster for Vibe Tribe.
Yeah, the plus side is there's also a 3-level deficit in jungle, right? So the Mamon's level 19, Thor's level 16. So she will be kind of able to make up for that a little bit, but you know, Bodega Hive just doing an excellent job here. Gonna pull the objective. No one's around. They've been spotted out by the Athena. Marty's
Vibe
gonna
Tribe
step
have
up.
the vision. Dharmic Pillars comes out to protect it. Bodega Hive get the secure. And Thor landing back down onto the Discordia behind, gets the beads off the disco as well, but walks right into, or flies right into a Maman Brigitte, chasing very hard, doesn't connect the ultimate, and the Athena ult also comes out. Defender of Olympus just trying to catch up to the Thor, diving in very far. Cthulhu trying to put out some damage as well, but Bodega Hive excellently peel off the objective.
Let's talk about Lycasto's pillar there. It was perfect. Cthulhu's not walking through it. um,
Talk
but
about it
yeah,
feels bad.
yeah. Unfortunately, being big and beefy also means that you can't walk through narrow corridors. Yeah, I don't think that this is a runaway game by any means as far as like gold goes,
Yeah.
but you know, knocking the enemy ADC out of the game, not being able to team fight as the Anhur's just not been his lane for a solid minute and a half at this point is huge.
Ooh,
Mamon's gonna come
Thor
in.
maybe going down, and it's a nice apple snipe once again from Libra on this Discordia on her, going to try and avenge his jungle. But it's a little unsafe for him to be trying to go that far forward into two tanks. Shifting Sands coming out. I'm sticking to that one now. Ganesh getting pulled back in, and it's a dash in from the Cthulhu. It turns into a full-on fight now as Maman shows up as well, gets knocked up, thrown back towards the enemy tower, falling low on her, taking quite a bit of damage. Dharmic Pillars comes out a little bit late, though, and Agni dashing in, trying to find a kill onto the Maman. Actually has to turn back around, takes so much damage from the jungle. We were talking about that scaling god of the Maman, who gets destroyed by Brotaco with a little help from his solo laner. So I won't even bother mentioning that she's level 20 already.
Yeah, I don't even think Surtur stunned her there, brother. We're gonna see 2 bombs come out for a tier 1 tower. I
Gotta
think
do what
he
you
just
gotta
just got spotted out, and Agni said, "Okay, I got you."
do. Brotaco looking a lot better on this Agni pick than he did in the Scylla last game. He did still play a decent game on the Scylla. Got some objective steals, got some good kills, but didn't have the same presence. This Agni pick, though, just looks great for him.
Yeah, I think Agni is just one of, if not the best mid in the game right now, and Brotaco really feeling himself on it. You don't see it so much in the KDA, but the player damage reflects it. He is 13k, only falling behind the Anhur. But the Anhur's received a lot of love this game, so we can't just dismiss that.
Yeah,
So
it's been on her running it down all game. Marty a little too far forward. Thorwall's going to keep him locked in, taking so much damage, can't get away out. Shell gets popped, and he's being chased down by the Ganesh. Dharmic Pillars doesn't connect the way it needed to there, so no kill resulted. Cthulhu taking the 3v1 right now, turns onto the Onher, who has absolute kill potential. Thor off the mark on the disco, has to retreat, and it's Bodega Hive with proper positioning on this right now. Maman Brigitte gets buried over to the enemy team off the Surtur ult, turns around and hits the backline with her ultimate as well, but still falling very low. Finally, Lycasto getting the kill as the front line keeps her backed up in a corner, and Vibe Tribe have to concede the next objective, but there isn't one.
yeah, Fire Giant's up.
Yeah, but the
23
low
minutes
health
in,
ones.
you got
Maybe.
a you got a pretty big lead here. You know, you can just fall back, regroup, head over that big objective.
Yeah, I don't know. It's quarterfinals, jitters. They're not feeling like they want to take that risky call even with 4 up.
No, like, but you've got a team fight comp, and you can bait a fight.
That's true.
You've got a, but I do want to say that I think that Vibe Tribe is falling prey to that putting all your eggs in one basket strat here.
Mm-hmm.
They put a lot of weight on this Mammon, and sure, level 20, got some items online, but you're still 5k down.
Yeah. Thor doing a little zoning work as Bodega Hive pick up another Gold Fury in this game. Should be the third one that we've seen from them now. Mike likely making their way over to that Pyromancer. And as I'm looking through the items, looking through the columns, first thing I'm noticing is that this is a much tankier Surtur this game.
Oh yeah, I think he definitely learned his lesson last game about I want to do the damage. But one thing about Surtur is you might be able to one shot, but you kind of need Blink to do it. And he went beads teleport last game, just like he did this game, but this time he's got
Maman
the front line.
coming around the backside. No real fight to be had. Dharmic Pillars does get used as a zoning tool. So some cooldowns down on the side of Bodega Hive. No relics really used, and Surtur's going to have his relics coming up shortly, at least his beads, which is more important than the teleport at
Look
this
at
point.
this.
But Vibe Tribe are going to make the riskier call here and just pull the Fire Giant. Very interesting considering the Agni on the board. But the Agni's all the way in the mid lane T2 right now. Maman all by himself has to retreat. On her showing up, Shifting Sands gets thrown out, wall doesn't connect, and now the three members of Bodega Hive can start making their way over. Vibe Tribe do drop the Fire Giant, so a very interesting call. Weren't able to really pull any relics off it either. Look at this, just juking out all the abilities, making Thor miss, making everyone miss. Cthulhu at 50%, he had to tank the objective, goes up into the Descent of Madness, and then starts throwing abilities down on the Onher, who's a little too far forward. Thor goes up into the air, trying to find a target to land on. Doesn't really find any key targets except Martikaros, but now he has to use his abilities to get out of the fight. Marty going up into the air, Aegis burned on Thor, and a lot of relics being used. It's almost a relic graveyard from Vibe Tribe. So maybe a better outcome for Bodega Hive.
Yeah, definitely got some good trades there. And I love the call. I love where Vibe Tribe's head is there, but you don't have a traditional ADC. If you have a traditional ADC that's level 20, almost finished build, and the Mama's keeping them busy, you get the Fire Giant. Or at least a lot closer to getting the Fire Giant, right? We're gonna see a re-engage here. Look at this.
Oh yeah, and it's Cthulhu going absolutely forward for his team. Three-man wall stun, and
Ooh.
Maman falling very low. Likisto gonna find that kill. Arconic picks up Libra, and this engagement goes south very quickly for Vibe Tribe. Athena doesn't have much longer until she falls. Jungle Jimmy picks it up with the ultimate alone. And only Cthulhu left alive. 40-second death timers. Look at the entirety of Vibe Tribe running down mid. Cthulhu will fall. Only a matter of time through the wall, and Arconic Prince goes 6-3. We could see an endgame call from Bodega Hive.
We might. They do have bomb. They can take this Phoenix, but there's still 2 towers up, and that's going to be a pretty tanky Titan. Here we go. In call. We'll see how it goes.
And walking forward, using on her auto attacks to start this one off. Dharmic Pillars comes out just off of cooldown. Surtur's in there, 25%. Good game. Bodega Hive, they managed to turn this one back around and bring it to 1-1 here at the quarterfinals.
Well played, Bodega Hive. Well played.
And that's excellent job from them as well. That team fight, really interesting decision from Vibe Tribe to step forward. They had the tools, though. They were looking for a good fight, maybe trying to get at least a pick to try and pull a Fire Giant. But a hero play from Arconic Prince managing to pull that one off. I mean, a 3-man wall stun? That's absurd.
Huge. And he hit the double tap to follow it up as well.
Yeah.
You can say what you want about his damage. Sure, he's only got 12.5. He hit 3 people. He hit 3 double taps. He got what was left of the relics, and it resulted in a team wipe and a game-winning play.
And with that being said, I mean, I am just so excited to go into game 3. Great job from Bodega Hive. Turn this one around, have the opportunity to bring this one back. They said, we are not losing to the 7th seed, and if we are, we're not going down 2-0 to the 7th seed. We'll see if they can bring this one back around and cap this one off in game 3, or will the 7th seed Vibe Tribe be able to bring this one home and upset the 2nd seed team right after this break. All right, everybody, welcome back, and we've got ourselves a three-set banger for our first ever quarterfinals game for Canes. I'm still Freaky, it's still Barry, and Salty on Spectator. And a little bit of change up on the lineup here. Bodega Hive have their jungle available now. It's Devin Frisco in jungle, Arconic Prince going back to mid, and Brotaco reclaiming his position in support. Barry, what do you think, man?
I think we still see three jungle bands coming out of Bodega Hive.
Mm,
I really want to see. I really want to see the Vibe Tribe from Game One here, especially now that Devin's back in the game. Um, they're gonna have a much harder matchup in that jungle.
yeah, and a great job from Arconic Prince filling in for his jungle Devon. And we were talking about this off camera for a little bit, and we mentioned if Vibe Tribe want a better position in this game, they have to get Profound Sock, his jungle pick, in the top three.
Ganesh.
All right, so we're gonna see a Hachiman top pick, no surprise there, followed up by the Cthulhu Ganesha. Um, Looks like they're trying to go back to more towards that heavily focused team fight. Um, I don't think. I think I would have rather just given up the Cthulhu because I don't think they would ban it based off of the performances that this guy's been having. They might pick it up and get Profound Sock, something that he's good on. Of course, it's a little early. I understand wanting to be jungle in that last slot, getting a good counter pick, but when the enemy team's spinning 5 jungle bans on you, yeah, they might not take away your entire god pool, but they can take away your top 5 best gods.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. As I think the Cthulhu pick is not bad. It's still a very strong pick, and it's looked very good for Vibe Tribe. Played really well last game during the laning phase, so didn't get bullied out by that Surtur on Jungle Jimmy. Vibe Tribe do take the Marticross out of the top slot this time, and do get this Ganesh back though for themselves. Something that Big Nick Energy looked really good on in game one. But this pick right here is a great one for Bodega Hive. Sobek's always been considered one of the better picks into the Ganesh, and grabbing it up early, I think this is already a better look for Bodega Hive, even though they won last game.
Yeah, I won't say it's better per se, but it definitely gives you more pressure. As speaking of pressure, the Surtur comes back again, so we're gonna see the Cthulhu Surtur matchup for the third time in a row.
Oh
I want
man.
to see, a real ADC come out of Vibe Tribe here.
Mm-hmm.
Get off the Marty. Didn't look good game one. Didn't look good game two. Looked really bad game two. Um, it was great early in game one, but when you had your communication with your team saying, "Hey, this Marty's an issue early game," and it just got set on all game.
Likely something that we'll see. Hachiman does get picked up, had a better matchup into it, but Vibe Tribe are going to take your advice on this one, and they go for the second best hunter, which is X-Ball. I already like the transition from them.
Yeah, I like it a lot better. I am an X-Ball hater, but I like it better than the Marty and ADC.
Yeah, it's much better look from them. Thoth getting banned away in the second round here. Something we've seen quite a bit of. I don't think Bodega Hive has even ever selected their mid in the top selection. Even with the roster swaps, getting their full roster back, still going with the same strategy. Robin banned away again from Bodega Hive, followed by a Wheelix from Vibe Tribe, keeping that jungle presence away from them with the amount of knockups that they have. So keeping it fair, and Thor getting banned away by a Bodega Hive this time. Probably the right decision though.
Yeah, especially if you're looking more towards this team fight kind of style. Notably, the Bats is up if you want to go that route for Vibe Tribe. Uh, just to touch on what you said earlier, Bodega Hive did top pick the Agni last game.
Mm. You're right. You're right. I did forget about that one. I forgot that was a thing because yeah. So that's true. Agni does get banned away, so no top pick presence on the mages this time from them. As Vibe Tribe are taking a lot of time to pick their fourth pick here.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Vibe Tribe, what are you looking at here, right? You gotta weigh your options. So we can either grab a jungler here, but at this point, I think it's kind of wasted because they've already got the 5 jungle bands.
Yeah,
Um,
6 if you're looking at the Awilix ban.
Tiamat, stat hover. I don't hate the Tiamat here either.
I don't either. I think the Tiamat's not a bad pick. It's not the explosive potential that you're looking at from a mage. And still no hard secure on the side of Vibe Tribe. They've been consistently staying away from that type of style. But they do still have a strong team fight presence. Bodega Hive, on the other hand, they're moving away from that one, which was kind of what helped them bring game 2 back, a better team fight. But looking at a bit more of a pick style comp from Bodega Hive, you got the Sobek, you got the Surtur, Bastet absolutely will pull someone out of a team fight if beads are down. So a little bit of a change in strategy from Bodega Hive with Devin Frisco coming back and Kukul Khan being last locked for Bodega Hive. Explosive potential from Bodega.
Yeah, the Cuckoo going down this far is a little surprising to me. Sure, he gotten hit with some nerfs here and there, but he still does a ton of damage. He's still easy to play. Still has the best objective secure in the game. Susano, though, that's what I like
Oh,
to see.
I love this pick, by the way. Very. Oh, we're changing it. Okay. Well, this isn't a bad pick either. Najah has the ability to separate an engagement and pull one person out, but it kind of feels like it's a bit of an outlier for Vibe Tribe's team comp and not how they want to play this.
Yeah, what are you setting up um for your team here? Outside of just going, hey, that person's a problem, take them up into the sky if their beads are down. Um, I they're gonna have to prove me wrong here. I think that's a little bit of a throw pick, personally. Um,
Yeah, it's an interesting one for sure. As you said, what do you follow up off the Naja ult here? Tiamat 1 or Tiamat ult, not necessarily the burst that you're expecting from a Naja pool. And I mean, this is something I would more expect to see on the team that has the Kukul Khan, not the team with the Tiamat. So we'll see what Vibe Tribe do with it.
it does kind of fit the theme of their comp here because they're kind of going for that little bit of prolonged team fight. Naja does have the self heal. I can kind of see where you slotted it in, but I do think this Asano would have just been so much better into what the Bodega Hive have going on.
Hmm. It's an outlier, like I said. It doesn't really seem to fit. I guess if you're thinking about it realistically, if they can find a way to get the beads off of the backliners, Najah has the ability to one shot combo a backliner on Bodega Hive's draft, but that's the matter of how are you getting back there too? Are you making long flanks? Are you blinking in? There's a lot can go wrong with this pick.
I do really like the Tiamat pick. Tiamat takes a little bit of time to get online, but she's a god that can build all damage and feel insanely tanky in her ground stance, right?
Hmm.
So she can also do a lot of work setting up for her team. She's got slow, she's got knockups, she's got stuns.
Definitely some tools in there. It's going to be an interesting one to watch for sure. Vibe Tribe looking to, close this one out, send them over to semifinals. Bodega trying to do the same. I'm kind of on your side with this one, to be honest. It just seems very. It seems like a stretch, and I'm wondering what the strategy is from Vibe Tribe here, or if there even is one, or are they really? Maybe they're looking at the early game potential. Najah sends someone up early on, and maybe they can get some follow up on that. You got the Ganesh ult, so they come back down and they send them back down and into a Ganesh ult. But we'll find out what that strategy is from Vibe Tribe here shortly, as we have a little bit of an issue here. So we're going to send this one over to a break. Hello, everybody, and welcome back from our short little tech pause. We got our issues sorted out, and we're going straight into this game 3 off that tech pause. And we were talking about it a little on the desk, how we felt a little bit more about this Naja pick, the outlier on Vibe Tribe's composition. I'm going to be keeping a close eye on this one because it's a do or die situation, and this is a do or die pick.
Yeah, I will say, that the Naja has the capabilities of removing someone from a fight, which is phenomenal, right? So you say, hey, so and so's the issue, take them out, but that requires their beads to be down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's assuming that it's not somebody with a CC immune ult. And that's a lot. You're asking a lot there. You don't have a whole lot of beads burning capabilities on your team outside of Naja slash and Naja ult.
Yeah, there's going to be some definite trials and errors on the side of Vibe Tribe throughout this game. And the other problem that I'm seeing is that aside from Naja, there's not really any beads burning potential. An attempt at a gank, though, from Profound Sog gets Sobek down to about just over 50%. And maybe that's one of the other things about this pick that I was mentioning, the early game potential. It's not an early game pick by any means, but what it does at least bring to the table for Vibe Tribe is the ability to gank a lane, send someone up, get relics. If relics are down, you can at least expect a kill, right?
In theory, um, in theory, you should expect it to kill. Sobek hits a minion with his pluck. Unfortunate.
It's going to take some damage off of that mishap. And dual lane goes crazy, by the way. I mean, both these carries are low. Support's also taking some poke. Ganesh actually looking pretty good right now, but otherwise. Dual lane, I think, is going to be a pretty solid affair now. We've got two legitimate ADCs playing into each other. There's no Marty this game. X-Ball, not the best hunter right now, but plays pretty well into Hachi, I'd have to say. Sobek taking some poke. Hachi stepping forward to get that camp. X-Ball falls to about 50%. It was a close one. Looking like we're going to see a pluck onto the Ganesh there. Meanwhile, over in the solo lane, it turns into the dual lane for a moment. Sobek now the one looking pretty low. Shell falling off. Ganesh trying to finish this one if he can. X-Ball walks forward, but the auto attacks stop the damage. Meanwhile, over in the solo lane, Jungle Jimmy gets first blooded by the Naja. So already this pick that we were hesitant about showing up.
That's good. First blood onto your jungler is definitely something that you can't complain about. Um, do you want to talk about these builds a little bit here? You're gonna see the mannequins build come out versus the arrow build on the Hachi.
Ooh, Ganesh gets plucked back once again. Ayajutsu hasn't been used for the stun. Sobek falling low. That silence just plays so well there. And X-Ball finds the kill. Nova Shark getting the first kill in this dual lane. Second kill overall for Vibe Tribe. It's a strong start for Vibe Tribe this time.
Yeah, definitely better start than they've had either game, right? X-Ball stepping up a little too far here. Banner hurts. Heavenly Banner does lots of damage. Now, one thing I do want to say is X-Ball usually struggles super hard in the early, but the mannequins helps us clear. Naja falls to the Centaur. Oof, that's a tough one.
Can we get a dying to a camp for playoffs bingo? So, at least it's to a camp. Nobody got an assist for that one or anything.
Hey, maybe it's a strat. You can't get on a killing spree and get shut down if you die to the Centaur.
Maybe. Gave that shutdown gold over to the Centaur, even though it wasn't even a shutdown yet. Who knows? We'll see if that one comes to bite him. But either way, I mean, Vibe Tribe just looks so strong right now. This is the first time in this entire set that we've seen them have a legitimate lead. It's not by much. It's only maybe by about 1,000. But at 5 minutes, 1,000 gold feels pretty good.
Yeah, as you're seeing that mannequin's aggression with the cone autos come out of this X-Ball. Nova Shark, where was this in game 2?
Yeah, I don't know why it took him so long to get on it. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, ultimates are getting traded out. Cuckoo ult gets avoided by the Sash, and Devin Frisco falls. very quickly. Now they're turning their attention over to the Cuckoo. Up into the air off of an amazing blink. Going to knock him down to about 50%. What's the follow-up here? He goes towards the wrong direction, though. Good ultimate from the X-Ball. And Profound Sock will get the kill with the help of the Ganesh. Naja will survive the tornado damage. What a good synergistic attack from Vibe Tribe.
I will say, I think the iframe sash was unintentional to avoid the Spirit of the Nine Winds, but hey, it happened. It netted you a gain, and now we're seeing Vibe Tribe with over a 2K lead at 5 minutes.
That is a phenomenal accident or on purpose. I'm sure the Bodega Hive is very upset right now. I know I would be.
Oh,
But
yeah.
great play from Profound Sock. Manages to pick up a double kill in that fight, and I think the hesitation has been dispersed from us.
Early game hesitation. We still got to see how it shapes up in a team fight. I'm not sold yet. He's having a good performance. He's hitting sashes. Can't complain. Descent into Madness comes out. Gonna pick up this kill. Maybe looking at a dive on this Bastet. Not quite tanky enough yet. But Bastet is TK'd Ode. As we're gonna see a Ganesha rotate over here for this blue buff.
I want to see them get on this quickly. Support and jungler are going to jump on it. Ganesh walking forward, silences them out, does not stop the steal, but now Sobek has become a target, uses the dash to get out. Body blocks could not confirm that one. Missed Bastet ult as well. All of that for a blue buff, and now Vibe Tribe are the ones looking for some steal potential if they can find it. Tiamat's here. Bastet goes up into the air and will die on arrival. Profound Sock looking very good right now. Ultimate's going to lock the Sobek in. He got out earlier. He will not get out this time. 3-man, 2-man ultimate from the Kukulkan, but it doesn't matter because no one else is there to follow up and too early to get a one-shot. So ultimate just goes on cooldown there. But it's a very strong start from 7th seed here in game 3. I'm a little concerned if I'm Bodega Hive. This is not how you wanted your game 3 to go.
You're 3K down, 7 minutes in. You got a 4-1 Naja on the enemy team. He is on a killing spree again, so that is a shutdown kill if you happen to get your hands on it. You know, they're having a phenomenal start. I want to see this snowball a little heavy here. I want to see early Gold Furies pulled. Push that pressure. Push a lane. Push the objectives. You know, you don't want to let off here. This is the final game going into semis. Do or die situation.
Yeah. I mean, Bodega Hive have to keep their mentals high here. They're 7 down on kills, 3K down in gold. This might be one that they can take. Nope, Descent into Madness cancels that one out. All those tower shots as well means that there's potential for a solo kill, but doesn't connect all of his abilities, so he will have to pass that one up and back. Bastet waiting in the jungle on the other side of the map. X-Ball gets that dash off. CC immunity. The cat will pick him up. Beads gets pulled, so no further potential, and he survives that gank. Devin Frisco cannot find this kill, and Hachiman is very low. Ganesh going to rotate over. May have rotated into 3 people he didn't want to find, but just makes it into the tower no problem. So all in all, Vibe Tribe just hanging on to what they already had, keeping that 3K lead.
I think if you're Vibe Tribe, you're pretty happy with that trade. You get the Bastet ult, you get the mounted archery. Hachi's now susceptible to ganks from this Naja. Sure, he's got beads, but a quick sash can get that away. And as we're seeing from Profound Sock, he's not missing sashes this game.
No, he is on top of it. I think I've only seen him miss one sash, and it was on Bastet jumping away. So I'm sure he's very happy with the outcome right now. And I want to continue to see that consistency because I think that's the only way that this pick keeps value and dispels our concerns at every point in the game. The value from this in mid game is going to be immense as well. The 3v3 right now looks so strong from Vibe Tribe, but once we get to that team fight stage, it's just a matter of will it maintain that value.
Are we seeing a Transcendence Devos build on X-Ball here?
That would be crazy. That would be insane. I mean, double stacking doesn't sound too far out of the stretch of imagination anymore with how stacking works, but doesn't feel very good as Bastet gets launched into the air down to about 25%. Ult off the mark. No, it's not. Naja falls very low, and Bastet will be able to get out. Naja re-engaging onto the Kukulkan. Walks into the tornado. Shell saves his life. Sobek lurking in the waters. plucked back towards his own jungle, but Sobek probably won't be able to get this kill, and
Oh, man.
Proc finds another Hydra's procs coming in handy there as well. I was expecting to see a Transcendence, maybe third item, but doesn't matter. Level 12 right now, 3 levels up on his jungle opposition.
And you're seeing Bastet opt for a Soul Eater here, gonna put her power spike even further behind, down 3 levels.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
It's a little rough. And here comes the early Gold Fury. There's no Spirit of the Nine Winds coming for this. No one from Bodega Hive is even close. Gonna be free as can be.
Yeah, I don't see what Bodega Hive can do about that one. And game 1, Bodega Hive looks strong, just don't manage to pull out the victory. Game 2, they pull it out. Game 3, Vibe Tribe are holding on to a very commanding lead right now, sitting at about 5K. I would love to see the gold graph right now, but we'll wait a moment for that as Naja is being contested inside his jungle. Bastet has an opportunity to actually turn this one around and get the kill. Up into the air, though, avoids the ultimate Arcanic Prince, does find Profound Sock with the tornado damage. Cthulhu also taking some damage here. The heat is high, and Brotaco will find a kill. Not who you wanted to take that one, but happy to have him go down regardless. Bodega Hive finally coming up alive and well in this game, only getting 2 kills, but no objective to be taken means that it's only 2 kills they get.
You know, 2 kills is 2 kills. You got a shutdown on Profound Sock onto your Kukulkan. That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Now your Kukulkan's ahead.
Yeah.
On top of that, you've got this kind of weird, goofy build coming out of your X Ball. Sure, he's got a 2-level lead, but we went Dom second. I'm gonna be honest with you, I would have almost rather seen the Transcendence because Dom does not fit the Mannequin's build very well. Build Titan's Bane, slot it in last. It just does more damage.
I think he builds it there simply for the mana pool. You know, you got to have some mana. On X-Ball, he's a very mana-hungry character. We'll see if it pays off for him. Sobek getting poked out already. Dominance doing its job, though. That 15% pin on auto attacks doesn't feel very good, especially this early. Gets picked up and tornado damage, but a shell will at least mitigate some of that. This beacon is still live right now. Only 3 members of Bodega Hive here. Bastet jumping in, gets silenced, takes quite a bit of damage before she can jump back out. Ganesha will pick that kill up and hand it over to Nova Shark. And that's going to be the go button for Vibe Tribe. They don't manage to get the beacon, but they're looking for more. And Jungle Jimmy will make his way out of that one using the Meteor Ultimate. So a great job from Vibe Tribe to at least turn something around in their favor. And they're looking at this tier 1 tower. 5 members strong, ultimate onto the wave. Pretty early on, Surtur gets sashed. Surtur takes so much damage. Cthulhu diving in deep, Beads gets pulled. And it's not going to be a tier 1 tower for them, but with the Relic Graveyard on the side of Vibe Tribe. Oh, wait a sec. More damage coming out, but it's being turned around onto Vibe Tribe. Not a lot to speak of, though. Hachi falling low. Naja about a half health right now. Very big value out of the Cthulhu ult there, but doesn't manage to get that tier 1 tower. So a 5v5 defense at 13 minutes does at least come out strong for Bodega Hive.
It does come out strong. You look at the relics on both sides here.
Yeah.
You also got beads. You got Aegis off of the X ball there with that Sobek pluck. That's huge. And I will say this about the dominance pickup here. It definitely helps X Ball's early game, and with what Vibe Tribe's trying to do, which is snowball heavy lead, go in, just take a dominant win here, and it's looking pretty convincing so far.
Convincing is definitely a word I would use for that description. And I mean, Surtur's only a level up. That's kind of what you would like to see. Maybe a lead, of course, would be better, but being a level down in solo lane on Cthulhu doesn't feel bad. And it's still a 3K lead for Vibe Tribe. Bodega Hive, late game comes around, I think Bodega Hive feels pretty good. The only character that falls off at that point is really Surtur. Sobek, I mean, late game Sobek as long as you're hitting Plux, you're not disappointed with the Sobek pick. But it doesn't matter because Vibe Tribe are going to pull this Primal Fury and try and gain an even bigger lead. Everyone from Bodega Hive is aware. They have the vision on it. And they managed to steal it away. Hachiman gets on the mounted archery, running away, has to disengage here, and it looks like Bodega Hive just won't be able to find a return. Actually, it's a re-engage from Bodega Hive, doing some damage. Ganesh falling to about a quarter. Vibe Tribe not sure if they want to take this engagement anymore, still hovering around, seeing if they can find someone making a mistake. Landing on the Bastet, and the banner does so much damage, making Naja fall back, but goes up into the air with the Hachiman. This time, you don't need CC setup if it kills, and Profound Sock finds it. Brotaco goes next. Hachiman, Bastet falling very low. Naja blinks in and finds the kill. Will the tower take him? No, he has the heal, and it's a fantastic re-engage off of a stolen Gold Fury from Bodega Hive.
Yeah, still only about a 3k gold lead. But if that's any indication on how these fights are gonna go, you get a 0-0-10 Ganesha, an 8-2-3 Naja. Sock just making plays for his team here. Man's a little crazy, but hey, you gotta love it.
It's looking very good for Vibe Tribe, the 7th seed, showing just how strong they are in this competition. A very clear sign of how good the Canes division looks right now as well. Very solid from all of these players. Tiamat getting plucked back, though, gets destroyed by Arconic Prince. It doesn't even matter. And just like I said, at any given moment, and Bodega Hive's composition is very good at singling out one target.
Yeah, Tiamat did have beads up there, but you know, I'm not sure that is it worth using your beads there. That the Kukulkan's already got 2 levels on you. These are the questions we gotta ask ourselves.
I think him not using beads there is the right call. Might as well just keep the relic in pocket for the next big team fight and just accepts his fate. Probably doesn't even get out, who knows.
We're looking at a Pyromancer here. Ganesh is walking up. Gonna just ward a little bit, spot the Surtur out. Cthulhu's gonna make the rotation a little bit here. Sees the Surtur coming back, decides to fall back to lane.
Beacon's coming up too shortly. Something else to think about as it starts flashing. 3 members of Vibe Tribe are here, waiting for that to come up. Level 18 is the Jungle of Vibe Tribe. 4 members strong now as the X-Ball also makes an appearance. Ultimate does pull the Ganesh in, lands into a tornado, takes a ton of damage off the initial engagement, but onto the support, I think Vibe Tribe is more than okay with that, and they pull the beacon. They managed to get the golden XP off of that. Now can turn their attention over to the Pyromancers. Still have Ultimate onto the Kukulkan, though, if they want to try to steal this one away. Getting knocked down very quickly, burning that one away. The objective damage is very high from Vibe Tribe. Ultimate's going to come out, but it's a little too early. Knocks the Ganesh up into the air. The only target to take the damage from that, and Bodega Hive still managed to steal it away. I'm not sure what took that. May have been a tornado tick. Naja doing some damage to Sobek, but not enough to turn it around. Surtur going up into the air and uses that as a disengage tool. Grabs that bomb up. So still a stolen objective from Vibe Tribe. Bodega Hive at least happy to walk away with that one.
Yeah, if you're Bodega Hive, you're pretty happy with that exchange. No one died. You got the objective. Gonna see.
Oh, Sobek goes up into the air. What's the follow-up on this one? We're waiting to see it. Comes back down and very quickly taken down. Libra gets that kill. Devin Frisco turns it around onto the other support, though. So a 1-for-1 trade of supports. And the mid lane turns into a arena match for a moment there.
Hey, we like arena matches. Arena matches are fun.
That's subject to opinion.
So let's talk about that for a second, because we commit for Bro Taco, we kill the Gator, but then we immediately lose our support on top of it. I think Bodega Hive comes out on top on that trade.
I think so too. 0, 1, and 11. I mean, he didn't have a shutdown bounty or anything, but with him being ahead and having gone undying for nearly 19 minutes, yeah, I think that's a very good trade for Bodega.
Yeah, and now Bodega, the the gold lead's starting to trickle down and get a little more even here. At one point in time, Vibe Tribe was up by almost 5K, and you know we're seeing just a little over 2K here. And that's kind of exactly what Bodega Hive wants, right?
Hmm.
Take the small wins, get the late game to where our Hachi and our Kukulkan are just deleting people, and our
Oh,
Bastet is getting relics or plucking someone straight to us.
Vibe Tribe probably don't know this is going on just yet. Ganesh gonna walk up though. Looks like they maybe had some idea. I think they might have had a word on it. I can't tell, but they are gonna stop this Oni Fury from going down. Bodega Hive gonna pick up these these vision the Furies. I can't remember what they're called. Oracles. So some vision onto the Gold Fury themselves. Turn their attention to the Tiamat getting plucked back. So much CC, so much damage. Beads has to get burned. Jump does come out. I think he landed onto a tornado though, and that takes down Big Blue, not Tiamat. And Jungle Jimmy will fall in response. So solo laner for solo laner trade. The trades continue to stay even. Naja gets the shell, goes up into the air, but it's so much health waiting for them to land. Tornado is going to take down the jungler of Vibe Tribe. The team fight looking very strong as Devin Frisco finds that kill. Lickisto finds another. Nova Shark at least turns one around, and Big Nick Energy will fall as well. And it's a very strong team fight from both members. Gonna do a little juggling on this Oni Fury. Tiamat still managed to live through that team fight, so maybe able to get the
Coming
steal
up,
here.
low health bars.
Cuckoo's very low. Oh, gonna use the ultimate there for the slow. Bodega Hive do get the confirm, but now it's the chase from the Tiamat. Full health. Jump doesn't have enough distance. Mounted archery gets burned, and it is a confirmed Gold Fury, Primal Fury at that for Bodega Hive.
And now we're back to a dead even game here, Freaky.
Mm-hmm.
It's still anyone's game. Both of these teams are showing that they want this win. They want to go on to semis. They want a chance at that chip.
Yeah, it's a close one too. I mean, Bodega Hive didn't fall far enough behind. I think the furthest it got was a 5K gold difference at one point, and they managed to close that one back up. It's also the first time we've seen Vibe Tribe with a steady lead in their hands. They still maintain it quite a bit, but only by like 1,000. It's a close one. Pyromancer getting pulled here by Vibe Tribe. Cuckoo is still dead, so not as much chance for steal potential. And Vibe Tribe will finally confirm an objective here in this game. Naja chasing down the enemy jungle, decides to peel off of that one. And probably a good call with how these team fights have been going. Cuckoo's back alive, so could turn on them at any moment if they're not careful. Beacon does spawn back in, so more opportunities for Vibe Tribe to extend their lead once again.
One thing I want to point out here is the Ganesha has fully upgraded relics with a relic dagger. Gonna come up huge in these coming team fights.
He's got a Sunder in pocket as well. First person they grab likely will get destroyed if he manages to hit those. But Vibe Tribe are going to be the ones giving up the beacon here, so a little bit of golden XP back in their pocket. Also tier 1 tower falling, so even more golden XP. A good play for Bodega. Closes that gold lead back up once again, trying to find a pick if they can. But Vibe Tribe make the disengage. Not going to get poked out this time around. Surtur walking up, trying to get some damage out as well. And Bodega Hive are going to pull the Fire Giant. Very commanding from the team, trying to pull out the victory here. Don't want to look like the second seed chumps, and they're going to make this Fire Giant happen. X-Ball ult does come through. Surtur doing some zoning. Tiamat walking forward, getting blown up, trying to walk forward. Cthulhu from behind, going to start doing some damage. Hachi trying to burn it down, and Bodega Hive do get the confirmed. Cthulhu now being turned on here. Naja trying to help out the solo laner. He's a little bit hesitant to move forward, though. Arconic Prince did die for this one. Meanwhile, on the backline, X-Ball is trying to dodge this Surtur ult. Ganesh did use the Dharmic Pillars, but nobody locked inside. It looks like a dead engagement from both sides, and a very good play from Bodega Hive. Closes up the gold lead, gives them about 900 in hand ahead, and gives them the Fire Giant.
Unfortunately, you do lose your Cuckoo there. But having the Fire Giant on your carry and three other members of your team is extremely strong, especially in these kind of dead even stalemate matches like we're seeing right now.
Hmm.
Um, this is second seed versus seventh seed, Freaky.
Yeah, very big difference between that. If anyone didn't know, this is the number 2 overall team at the end of regular season. Vibe Tribe, not the best season they've had. They were struggling there. I think they were even, excuse me, a team in contention for Gauntlet at one point, but they are not looking like one. They are staying very solid in this game, starting to turn on them a little bit here in the late game. But I don't think they're out. I think if Profound Sock's able to get into the back line and find one strong pick, or if Cthulhu can disrupt a team fight enough to help his backliners do some damage, it could very easily turn around back into Vibe Tribe's control. But with the Fire Giant around their waists, they're feeling confident to look for an engagement on this tier 2. Sieges are starting.
Like you can't even really discern like who the biggest issue is here because
Mm-mm.
Cuckoo's doing cuckoo things, but the player damage is you know, it's basically dead even between the two carries on the Bodega Hive squad.
Oh, he
Sash
dodges the
comes out.
ultimate, and there's a beads Aegis, and it's the 1v1 in the mid lane on top for Profound Sock. Took no damage, and now looking to rejoin his team. The 4v4 gets started off as well. Bodega Hive have to disengage. Sobek falling very low, and it's the solo laner doing so much damage from Vibe Tribe to find more damage in this fight. Sobek going to get turned on. Surtur gets sashed. He's still alive, though. I'm surprised as Ganesh is taking some damage from the backline. Tiamat over the wall. Surtur has to use the meteor to avoid any more damage as well. And it's 2 members dead from Bodega Hive. Looks like there could be a tier 2 tower in the future for Vibe Tribe here. Only the jungle and carry walking forward right now. Hachiman
Looks like
walking forward. Cuckoo also walking up. A little bit of damage onto the jungle. Manages to avoid that tornado as well. And they're going to try to defend this tower if they can. Only 2 members, though. No Descent into Madness. But they could just walk in. Tiamat minions are going to start tanking it first. X-Ball walks through that tornado. And it looks like it's going to be a soft defense. Cuckoo ult comes out, doesn't connect onto anybody. Minions have made their way in, and Vibe Tribe disengage off of the tower.
I think your Vibe Tribe, you're pretty happy with that. You just fall back, grab you a Gold Fury. You got you got the team fight. Profound getting the 1v1 there, getting the relics as well. Um,
Oh, Naja falling low. Surtur also falling low, though.
Sort deciding not to int for the Naja kill. Probably a good call. Stay safe, get the objective.
I think that's the right call, though. Back and forth affair off of the solo, or off of the Fire Giant. Good plays made overall. Only the jungle and support falling for Vibe Tribe, but managed to keep defending the tier 2 as well. Fire Giant still on 2 members, Jungle Jimmy and Licasto, finally falling at that very moment that I mentioned it. But they managed to get the 2 objectives that they can go for off of that. No tier 2 falls, but I think you're still happy with a Gold Fury and a Pyromancer.
I know you're gonna pick up this beacon, make those tier 2s a little weaker here, making your sieging just a little bit easier. Freaky, I still think this is anyone's game at this point.
Absolutely.
This Naja is getting way more value than I thought it was gonna get.
He's coming out strong in this game, and the 1v1 potential, I think, is something that we absolutely forgot about, and we got to see it on show right there in that mid lane defense. So something to think about. But team fights have been very back and forth as well. I mean, like you said, there's no amount of no amount of analysis in the world could account for what we're seeing right now. Vibe Tribe should not be winning this game. They absolutely are. I mean, we're in third game situation right now. Bodega Hive probably aren't happy with this performance right now, but you can't be worried about that right now. It's game 3. You've got to win it no matter what.
I mean, Hive's in a good spot here. They're finally up in gold. Um, the XP, any XP leads that were there are gone. You're in a prime position to do what your team comp does best. Maybe you don't get a little overzealous and leave your Hachiman on the back line where there's a Naja looping around. Gets spotted out, good on him, gets pinged. Hachiman gets back in position. We're seeing Cuckoo tornadoes just rip through these teams.
Oh, Bubble got popped on Sobek there. Little bit of damage going either way. We saw the Vestetto get used there as well. Bodega Hive are the ones moving forward, looking at this Ganesh if they can find it, but only put some poke onto him. Sobek takes some damage in return as well. So just a back and forth poke battle right now. It's a very close game right now from these two teams. We keep saying that Fire Giant is what we're looking at. 30 minutes tick over. It's EFG. How do you play this one?
Oh man, since it's so even, um, I think realistically, you want to try to get, if you're Vibe Tribe, you want to try to get beads off somebody and just let Naja take them up, take them out, that kind of deal. And if you're Bodega Hive, you really want this team fight to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You want your front line to be able to zone and let your Cuckoo and your Hachi just pump out damage, get a pick or two, grab the Fire Giant, and use your 2 bombs to take down a Phoenix.
Would be the ideal play. Got about a minute and a half maybe until Beacon spawns, something else that they can play on. Pyromancer also has about a minute until it spawns. Gold Fury maybe about a minute as well. So some more objectives will be coming up off the map. And that's going to be another thing about this game that I think will make the biggest difference here is the macro play from these two teams and what they're going to be able to do. Sobek loses his bubble once again. Not happy about that one if you're Sobek. And Vibe Tribe trying to find poke, trying to find a pick. If they can, Naja lurking around. Only finds Sobek. X-Ball gets his beads pulled here, but Sobek taking a lot of damage, and this is a true team fight now, it looks like, as Cthulhu dashes forward. Naja gets the Hachiman and blows him up with the help of his mid laner now. Surtur
Spirit
to
of
the
the Nine
final
wins.
Spirit of the 9 wins, hits 3 people. Profound Sock takes the fall as well. Cthulhu knocked down so low, and now all of Bodega Hive are moving forward. No ADC means this Cthulhu is going to be hard to take down. Bastet going to walk forward, and Tiamat going to peel him off, but the Surtur is doing so much damage here. Arconic Prince finds Big Blue, Jungle Jimmy finds Libra, and X-Ball is the only DPS left alive, gets stuck in a tornado. Ganesh going to use that silence to put some prots on his backline. A massive ult from Arconic Prince to turn that fight back around. Bodega Hive going to make a full back and probably going to immediately pull this Fire Giant.
Yeah, that'd be a safe bet. All your ults are, on relatively low cooldown at this point. Spirit of the Nine Winds already back up, so you have your secure. Cuckoo coming up huge there. There's no selling that short. Vibe Tribe was winning that fight. They piled in a narrow corridor. Cuckoo lets it rip, hits a massive ultimate, and they win. Well, they win the team fight, rather.
Still all tier 2 towers up for both teams means that this EFG could absolutely open up the game for whoever grabs it. Ganesh hovering, Surtur's very deep, actually going to drop the tier 2 using one of his bombs. Meanwhile, the rest of them are trying to stop him from doing so. Surtur goes up into the air, Cuckoo ult comes down, steals, or confirms that, I should say, rather. Ganesh ult did come through, and now Vibe Tribe are trying to disengage. Ganesh falling very low, Cthulhu taking the 1v1 with Surtur. Likisto finds Nova Shark. Naja getting plucked back, gets blown up. Vibe Tribe are falling apart at the seams after a massive team fight victory from Bodega Hive off the back of Arconic Prince. This could very well be an in call from Bodega Hive. They just got to get to the Phoenix. They have a bomb in pocket. Surtur's stepping up. He's going to be the first one into the Phoenix. Tanks it. Bomb gets dropped. Bastet goes in, does the damage, and it's an immediately destroyed Phoenix. Now it's all 5 members walking in. There's still an ultimate from the Cuckoo. Cthulhu goes up. Ultimate connects onto Likisto, gets Libra. Only Cthulhu left alive. 20 seconds. It's going down so quickly. Bodega Hive are not going to lose this one to the 7th seed. No Cinderella story, no upsets today. It's Bodega Hive in a 2-1 fashion, coming out with a victory.
Yeah, I think Vibe Tribe kind of fell in that trap of And we got to get to this fire giant. It's enhanced. It's enhanced. It's enhanced. But you get there too late. Your X ball gets hit with a Bastet ult, pulled in, dies, and then it's just an absolute mess for your team there. Everyone
Mhm.
kind of scattered. Um, and then Hive just picks it up, hits it, wins. It's that simple.
A massive pat on the back too for Arconic Prince. If he doesn't land that ultimate, it just doesn't turn into a victory for them. That huge ultimate does so much damage to so many different people. Immediately takes down the star player Profound Sock as well for Vibe Tribe. Great season overall for Vibe Tribe, though. Managed to finish off seventh seed, confirming themselves in the quarterfinals, but unfortunately second seed takes the victory here as expected, but probably not in the fashion that I think everyone was expecting either.
I will say that Vibe Tribe was in control of that game for the first 20 minutes.
Yeah,
But a 20 minutes game gets extended. You're slowly losing your gold. You're slowly using your XP lead, and that is exactly what we were saying in picks and bans. That when this Bodega Hive draft gets to late game, they have a
mhm.
great team fight. They have tons and tons of damage. They have objective secure. I think if Vibe Tribe has objective secure, they win that set.
I have to agree with you there, but speculation can only go so far, and unfortunately, this set is over. And as we've already stated before, it's a 2-1 victory in favor of Bodega Hive. They will be going forward to semifinals, and they'll be waiting in anticipation for who they could be facing off in their next round in the semifinals. They'll find out at some point this week. But until then, they can at least celebrate their victory tonight. Make sure everybody sticks around here in about 10 minutes or so. We're going to have another Canes game live on the cast. Let me see who that's going to be between. I'm a professional at this, I promise. It's going to be Odin's Headhunters versus Mystic Sea Serpents, Kane's division. And you'll have Sparked and Vivi on the cast for that one. So be sure to stick around. In about 10 minutes. That game will be starting. But we got to get out of here in order for that one to start. Great job from Bodega Hive one more time. I'm Freaky G, joined on the cast here by Barry Toppings and Salty as well, doing a fantastic job on the Spectator. We will see everybody here soon. But until then, have a good day.